Okay, it's 7:03. Good evening, everyone. Today is May 12th, 2026. We are getting ready to start ANC 5D's uh, commission public meeting. And is Commissioner Chobe here?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh, okay, yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
I see. Okay, Commissioner Chobe, would you mind
sure.
taking roll call, please?
Absolutely. So the meeting called to order. Roll call will do uh numerically 5D01, I'm here. 5D02,
Here.
5D03,
I'm here.
5D04,
Here.
5D05,
Here.
5D06, here, present, 5D07, and 5D08 are not here. 5D09. Here. All right, we've got 7 out of 9 of us here tonight.
So we have a quorum. And it's noted. Thank you, Commissioner Chobe. Okay, next up, we are going to start with the agenda. We're going to adopt the adoption of the agenda. Does you have your hand up, Commissioner Hostler? Is everything okay?
Yeah, yeah, just noting. So I noted informally, so I will need to leave around 8 or 8:15. So I think in Robert's rules that we met quorum at the beginning, so we're good. But just noting if there's quorum related things and how we read in the Robert's rules, so I'll be dropping off for another meeting at around 8 or 8:15.
Okay, well, we have a couple of voting actions around 8:50.
Can somebody start the live stream?
But I think we still have a quorum if you leave. I'm pretty sure we
We'll
still
have quorum unless 2 other people also leave. So
Well, let's hope 2 other people won't
let's
leave.
all work to avoid that situation.
Okay, well, Commissioner Hostler, whenever you're ready to go, just do us a peace out. All right.
Thanks.
So we're gonna start with the approval of the agenda. Is there any changes or amendments that we want to make on to the agenda?
I have a change. I'm going to strike. Sorry.
Are you striking
First
or
or
voting?
second?
Yeah, I'm looking for it now.
It's at the bottom. Has a line on it.
Yeah, I'm striking the direct expenditure for the community resource fair. But I'm going to change that to just vote for ANC 5D to sponsor that resource fair. So it's just a quick switch of language. It's not a voting action item for a purchase. It's going to be a voting action item to put the logo on the flyer and for ANC 5D to sponsor it.
Okay. And so it won't be a direct expenditure, or will it still be?
It won't be. This is more
Okay.
so to make sure we vote on it so I can put the logo on the flyer.
Okay, Commissioner Chobe, did you take note of that?
Sure. We
Okay.
can vote on the amendment to tonight's agenda. Okay. Are
Okay.
there any other questions before I do that? Okay.
All right, so I move that we strike the direct expenditure for the community resource fair. No funds should be needed for that. And moving to add just a vote for ANC 5D to sponsor the event.
Okay, do I hear a second for the motion?
Second.
Second from Commissioner Salcedo Guzman. We'll do roll call 5D01 aye, 5D02,
Aye.
5D03,
Aye.
5D04,
Aye.
5D05,
Aye.
5D06,
Aye.
5D09.
Aye.
Okay, the ayes have it.
Great.
I just have one addition, Chairwoman, to the agenda. For a consent calendar item, the invoice for the historian.
Mhm. Are you adding the invoice?
It's linked in the agenda. He billed us for the first presentation, so I want to add that invoice for payment.
Can we move that to discussion?
Sure.
Do it now or?
That's what discussion.
All
Yeah.
right, so I saw that. I think we need to get on a consensus about what a community public presentation is. I thought we were getting a status update, so I think just in general, I mean, if there's a vagueness in the contract, where we could remit payment here, but I think we need to move this to a voting action item. So we can add an amendment so that we know what is gonna be considered a public community presentation as defined in the contract, so that as we go forth, there's no confusion, because it happened during the CAL, it wasn't publicly noticed to the community. So the community presentation portion of that gets a little muddy. So I would move it to a voting action item, so that we can add in an amendment for what is gonna be considered a public community presentation.
So you want there to be another presentation?
No, Commissioner McCray's asking for to be a voting action item, so we can add more to just making a consent calendar item and just,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm. So I'm fine with making that amendment to my motion, because I agree. Even though the COWs are public meetings, our historian needs to understand also that these are the presentations that we want to make sure community is open to. There's 3 presentations left in the neighborhoods of Carver, Langston, Ivy City, and Trinidad, but we want to make sure those are that's publicly noticed, specifically just this last.
Okay, that's fair. So, are you gonna make the motion, Commissioner McCray, or have you made it already?
No, I amended my motion
Yeah.
as.
Oh,
as
okay,
presented.
okay.
Yes.
All right.
So the motion's on the floor. Do we have a second for Commissioner Sarceda's motion?
Second.
Second from Commissioner Campbell. We'll do roll call. 5D01, aye. 5D02.
Sorry, one moment of clarification.
You want this?
So I agree with this, so not trying to like subvert, like change it. This will not change I think we should clarify the language. So affirm that. I would think, since it may be slightly fuzzy, that we should continue forward with this payment, just to be clear that we're like paying and then clarifying. Is that okay?
Yeah, this vote is just to have it on the agenda so we can discuss further.
Perfect. Sorry. Thanks.
Yep, he did a lot of work, so I agree with it, that he needs to get paid. But yes, okay. Let's continue, Commissioner Chelby.
Sure. So the motion was moved and seconded, and we will do roll call now. And this is to add it as a discussion item to the agenda. 5D01, aye. 5D02,
Aye.
5D03,
Aye.
5D04.
Aye.
5D05,
Aye.
5D06.
Aye.
And 5D09.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries.
Okay, with all those changes to it, the agenda, does anyone else have any changes or amendments?
Roman.
Okay. Well, I move that we adopt the agenda with both amendments and changes. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Second by our vice chair.
Okay, can you do a roll call?
Absolutely.
Commissioner Tobey, thank
5D01,
you.
aye. 5D02,
Aye.
5D03,
Aye.
5D04,
Aye.
5D05,
Aye.
5D06,
Aye.
5D09. Okay, tonight's agenda has been adopted as amended.
Okay. Commissioner Choby, as secretary, would you like to adopt the minutes from
Yeah,
adopting the
we
minutes
are,
from April?
I'm moving, we adopt both. I think it's both the March and April minutes this time because we weren't able to do March at last meeting, if everyone recalls. So,
It's only
so-
April, or I'm sorry,
Oh.
it's only March. It's
oh,
only
okay,
March.
excuse me. Okay, my bad. Thank you, Andy. And I'm moving, we adopt the minutes from our March meeting. They're linked in tonight's agenda. They were sent around. Does anyone have any discussion or amendments to those minutes? Okay, do I hear a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner McCray. We'll do a roll call. 5D01, aye. 5D02,
Aye.
5D03. I'll come back to you. 5D04. Oh,
I don't think we heard your name.
So,
oh,
uh,
okay.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank
Okay,
you,
thanks.
because I couldn't hear you either.
we need to keep one.
Fabulous. Okay,
Aye. Oh, sorry.
yeah, 5D05,
Aye.
5D06,
Aye.
5D09.
5D09.
Oh, aye. Okay, and Anna, are you available to vote?
Yeah. Yeah. Aye. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can now. Okay,
Okay.
so
Um,
the March
was
meeting
I
minutes
going?
are adopted. Sorry, what was
I
the
have a
question?
question. Like, was I missing? Could you see me before when I was gone or no?
Feel free to message our admin with any tech questions, Commissioner. Thank you.
Yeah, we can see you, but you're frozen. So,
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm frozen right now. Okay. Thanks.
mhm. But you can go on mute.
Yeah.
Okay, now we have the treasurer's monthly report. That would be Commissioner McCray.
Yes, give me 1 second. I'm about to pull it up. All right, so this report is going to be a for the month of April. Okay. I think I do. All right. Maybe I don't. Oh yeah, I do. Okay, I see it. All right.
There you go.
Go with it. All right. So the month of April, we had a beginning balance of $44,644.14. During the month of April, we had expenditures for the Verizon bill for the ANC office located at Union Market. That Verizon bill was for $1,729.20, which will cover the commission through January 2027. So it'll cover through the start of the next commission. And we had some payouts for the social media consultant and admin consultant, totaling $1,424. We did have a deposit for the lost check. There was a lost check for social media consultant from the month of, I want to say it was February or March. But that'll show as a deposit in our QFR portal. So we had a overall balance, overall amount spent of $2,694.20. So we had an ending balance of $41,949.94. These numbers may fluctuate. This is a monthly report just for informational purposes only. Um, but I'll pause just to see if there's any questions.
Questions?
And I do have one other update. So, I gave this some thought, but I do plan to resign as treasurer for the commission. I'm gonna do an off ramp of 30 days, just to do a successful transition, hand over all financial documents, expenditures, outstanding payments. I'll make sure everyone from the month of April gets paid so that there's no default in those payments. But I will be stepping down. And I do want to be straightforward about why I'm leaving. This role kind of requires accurate information, timely internal communication, and I have not consistently had that. Doesn't mean anything is wrong. It just means that it's not something that meshes with my schedule anymore. I have developed a standard operating procedure for this role. I'll include that in the package. Only goal was to leave this role better positioned than what I found it, and hopefully I've done that. So. And that's the end of my treasurer's report.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner McCray. Sorry to see you go as treasurer. And it is detail oriented and it's very life consuming, I might say. But if anyone wants to step up and take that position, feel free to do so, and we'll have a vote on that. But we appreciate your work. We appreciate the way you have things set up for the future treasurers on down the line. So you did pretty good doing that. I appreciate you for doing that.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, I wasn't expecting that, but
Sorry for the bad news.
Thank you for your work, Commissioner.
You did a great job.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Bye.
so does anyone want to, is everybody finished dropping tears on, and does anybody want to take over that job? All right, I guess we'll talk about it in the COW. Now we will have committee reports. Our discussion about your resignation, Commissioner McCray.
Mm-hmm.
Do you need to meet with me to change over the paperwork, bring all the paperwork and everything and bring it in the office, or how do you want?
Yeah. I'm not gonna leave y'all high and dry. I have like a 30-day off ramp where by next meeting, hopefully somebody else will be able to assume the role. If not, based on our bylaws, the secretary assumes the role, how the bylaws are written. So hopefully someone can fill that role. We can do whatever transition is needed in the meantime. Plan to discuss with the OANC just to make sure everyone's trained up, knows where everything is, and make sure the bank cards and everything is switched over.
Okay, cool. And about the timeliness of making purchases, is that in, do you have that written somewhere? Like,
What do you do when you say that?
when you were saying you need everything in by the 28th or something like that, so that the numbers can add up?
Yes.
Okay.
So I have that in the SOP. So
Okay.
I'll make sure that any kind of, I did receive some feedback from the OANC on the SOP from the legal standpoint from Denise and from Taylor Woods, as well as Dawn. So I'll make sure all of that information is kind of included in that SOP so that everyone's on the same page. when it comes to that.
Okay, okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, do we need to make a motion for your resignation? Or,
Mm-mm.
okay, all right. So now we're going to committee reports. Let's start with the trash and beautification. Um,
Okay, hi. Can you all hear me? Can you hear
yes.
me? Okay,
Yes.
great. I don't know if you can still see me or not, but as long as you can hear me. Okay, so I'm gonna give both an update for the trash and okay, so sorry, I'll just give an update for the trash and beautification committee. So the biggest news in the committee is that Andy D'Antonio is joining us as resident co-chair. Yay! This is one of the best. Yay! Yes. This is one of the best things that ever happened to the committee. Andy is like really, really, really like he's great. He's super dedicated, super talented, and super happy that he's really going to be our co-chair. And it should really help in so many ways, you know, just I just think it's really nice to have a resident co-chair as well. Um, so in other committee news, we're very lucky that both Lacey Davis, who's our mayor's office liaison, you'll hear from him later today later in the meeting, and Inspector Brooks Garrett of DPW are going to be working closely with us. Hopefully, um, you know, Inspector will be able to meet with us soon. We kind of missed a meeting with her, but um, they both would like to meet with us. And we have a core organizing group, so we can work closely with them both with a smaller group, making it really convenient. And we're going to all work together on sustainable long-term plans to keep 5D clean and beautiful. And that's it.
Thank you, Commissioner Robin. Do we have anything, a report about the safety committee?
Yes, we have our 5DCAC meeting the fourth Thursday of this month. It's a hybrid meeting. So I'll drop my email in the chat if you are not on that listserv that automatically gets those Zoom meetings. But no update as of right now on the request for the illegal dumping cameras. We do have a walkthrough with Donnie Crawford's office. Kelly Sislo is a really great resource for Ward 5. And they're currently trying to work with NPD to get us those kind of cameras in that alley. As I mentioned before, that alley is very well known for its dumping, but also for having its drug dens in the epicenter around all that. So just getting any kind of video access for some of the criminal activity that heavily occurs in that alley would be really helpful. Other than that, please attend the CAC meeting. The commander will be there. Interim Chief Carroll was at the last one. A lot of it was, I would say, small puff pieces to the interim chief. But I know when the commander is the one at the helm for a lot of these public meetings, he does do a lot of work for community. Outside of that, just please attend the meeting and feel free to connect with me to get more information.
Thank you for that report, Commissioner Guzman, Soseda Guzman. For the Environmental Justice Committee, I just want to say if anyone has any tips about any illegal dumping or idling, anything past 3 minutes is illegal in DC. So if someone is idling, in the heat, the extreme weather, we give them 5 minutes. But anything past that is illegal. Um, the burden is on the residents to record the folks that are idling or committing, just dumping stuff in our communities. So if you happen to see anyone and you can get their license plate, please do that because we had the big cleanup event a couple weeks ago, and last week we had dumpings in like 3 different places in Ivy City, which doesn't make any sense. So the Attorney General now has this hotline. I'm gonna have to get it for you. Get the number, but has a hotline. So if you have a tip on any idling or illegal dumping, please contact the Attorney General's office. And that's it for me. I just want to add, if anybody from Ivy City is here, that Department of Health is taking care of the rat burrows. They found 50 rat burrows up the hill at those apartments up Mount Olivet Road past the DYRS, Department of Youth Service Center, and they are checking on those burrows every other week to treat them. So yeah, let's not let the burrows multiply. If you see burrows, please contact the Department of Health. And if you see illegal dumping and you've got a driver's license, please take note of that. But other than that, that's it for me. And let's encourage our neighbors to clean up in front of their homes or apartments and keep the trash inside the trash. And that's it. Thank you. Um, what about the zoning committee, Commissioner Chobe? Do you have
Sure.
anything?
Yeah, I can speak briefly, although there's been no major changes. The reason for that is that, for those unaware, the Board of Zoning Adjustment has been without quorum for several months. However, the mayor has nominated 3 individuals to fill some of those seats, and the hearing to confirm them is a week from today. So it is likely that that situation will be resolved soon, meaning that if you do have a matter that should be going before the Board of Zoning Adjustment, that is actually hopefully going to be possible in a way that it hasn't been for the past couple of months. So the zoning committee of ANC 5D is scheduled to meet next Thursday, the 21st. We ask that if you have a Board of Zoning Adjustment, BZA, or zoning commission matter, that you email them to us by this Thursday, the 14th. If you'd like to have that on our agenda on the 21st, but if we don't receive anything, we are liable to cancel that meeting. But if folks are interested in zoning matters, I urge you to look into the mayoral appointees for the BZA, since they're coming up before the council has to approve their appointments next week. And I can provide a link to that hearing if folks are interested. But that's all the update I have.
Thanks, Commissioner Chobe. Next, we have the Committee on Transportation, Commissioner Hostler.
Yes, good evening. I'm the relatively recently new chair of the Transportation Committee. We have not had a regular meeting due to scheduling conflicts, but I welcome communications. We've had a few communications around transportation related issues that kind of span across 5D, so not obviously specific to my SMD. And so we work to both address those as well as loop in the appropriate commissions so there is visibility. Since sometimes these are kind of bigger issues, sometimes they're more specific to a particular location. So I can drop my email unless someone else does beforehand. And I'm happy to receive any communications around this, and we'll work to address transportation related issues as they arise. Thanks.
Thanks, Commissioner Hostler. Does anyone have any questions for any of the committee chairs?
We do have one question in the chat that asks, does this cover the Heckinger Mall area?
Does what cover the Heckinger Mall area? Could you be specific, please?
I mean, it's within.
Oh, the
The
zoning.
zoning.
It does.
It does, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Heckinger Mall is within our commission, and so
Oh, yeah.
if the question is like, is there a zoning problem with Heckinger Mall?
Or if Heckinger Mall is able to be under our purview when it comes to zoning matters, what our chairwoman is saying is correct.
I believe so.
Yeah.
But I'm unaware of like a proceeding before those specific entities about Heckinger Mall. I know there's problems with Heckinger Mall, but I don't think they're currently part of a BZA or zoning commission proceeding.
Commissioner McCray, is the Heckinger Mall area your SMD?
No, that's Juan McCullum's 5D07.
Oh, okay.
I know I haven't heard any updates. I've reached out for updates, but there are no current updates on a new grocer to replace the Safeway. But I do know a lot is closing over there, so I'm sure we're gonna find out something soon. I just don't know how communicative they're being with the community right now. Because as of right now, we haven't heard anything, even though we requested.
Maybe a recommendation would be to go through the Office of Attorney General's nuisance
Okay.
folks. They'll probably be able to maintain communication with the developers quicker than us
To ask what the status is of, okay.
before it becomes a nuisance, because I think Commissioner McCray has addressed that just like at CVS. So maybe
So that's the OAG's nuisance.
I'll get you the contact, Miss Ania, I'll get you the contact information.
Okay, I can ask them if they know more than me, I can ask them what they know.
Just so it stays on their file cabinet and stuff.
Yeah. Thank you, Commissioner.
And Commissioner Hostler, there's a question for you in the chat. Can you see it?
Yeah, I have not heard any word on that. I've been sort of either directly to me or kind of broadly posted. If other commissioners have heard anything, please feel free to comment here. I can do a little bit of digging to see if there's anything, but as far as I know, there's no plan or comment on that.
For
Regarding
people that are in the room, could you,
You talking about the chat?
Yeah, just read out the chat
what
comments.
is it?
Oh, you'll have
The
to go on your
streetcar.
phone with those,
That was
chat.
referring to the streetcar.
Oh, the streetcar, yeah.
Okay, do we have any more questions?
Just a friendly reminder to the attendees in the Zoom, questions are for the Q&A. So please make sure you direct all your questions in there so our admin and our communication specialist can properly receive them.
Okay, we have another question in the chat. Our admin is not available. I'll say it real. You want to say it? Go ahead.
No, sure. They just asked, how can we get owners of vacant buildings to clean up their backyards and sides of the alleyways? The alleyway they live in is filthy from abandoned homes, and we have major rat issues.
That's a 311 request. Take pictures and do 311 online so you can send those pictures. And or contact your ANC commissioner and we can get with the DOB, Department of Buildings liaison, Ward 5 liaison, and that helps too. But we just can't sit on it and look at it, and we have to be proactive. So if you can take some pictures, is it near where you live at? Or it's just something that you notice in passing? Okay. Can you take pictures, please, and do 311 online? Send the pictures, upload the pictures, and make sure you get a request number and add your email address, and they will respond. And if you don't get a response, you might want to also send that information to your ANC commissioner.
We also have two more questions. One, how can we make a recommendation that any new businesses coming to Hecker Mall invest in public transit to and from Union Station and Noma? And then can you give an update on the trees that are being cut down in the neighborhood by Dot?
By DDOT. So that will be a transportation question. If you can send an email Commissioner Hostler, and I think Commissioner Hostler, did you put your email address in the chat?
Yes, I did.
Okay,
It's
that'll be a transportation question. And the other one is, who's the other question?
Can we give an update on the trees that are being cut down in the neighborhood by DDOT?
Okay, you might want to talk to your ANC commissioner and maybe reach out. I don't know why trees are being cut by DDOT. Are they being cut? Where are they being cut at? Because DDOT is urban forestry is under DDOT, so it's not like a random person is cutting the trees, but we do need to know why they're cutting the trees. Actually, they should have said something, if you ask me, because we need our trees. Okay. Do you know who your ANC commissioner is?
I can also put a link in the chat for people to find their ANC commissioner.
Thank you.
That would be great.
I appreciate it. And we have any more questions for the commissioners or any of the committees? We are
Last
10 minutes
question.
behind. Okay.
Last question.
Let's move
Electricity
on.
bills have spiked hard. What can this ANC actually do to help organize residents and push for refunds or accountability for so many of us impacted?
I didn't hear that. I'm sorry.
They asked that electricity bills have spiked, and what can the ANC actually do to help organize residents and push for refunds or accountability for so many of us impacted?
I'm not sure. That will be a Kelly Sislo. Check with
Mhm.
Kelly Sislo and also um I'm not sure, do anybody have any success in getting refunds for those Pepco bills?
Not necessarily refunds, but the commission did put out a resolution in March, maybe it was April. It might have been April's meeting that'll go out requesting for better transparency with the Public Service Commission. And just finding ways to lower those bills just across the board because it's only going to go up. So we do have a resolution that once approved with some updates from the last meeting, we can go forth with pushing that to council for residents.
Okay. If
Can
you
I
all
also,
yes.
yeah, I went to a meeting that Pepco had for ANC commissioners the other week, and they listed out a bunch of different programs that are available for folks to help pay their bills, and they emphasized that they want to get you to a point where you like they don't want to disconnect you because once a disconnect happens, that makes it a lot harder for you and everyone involved. And so they were listing off the following resources. In DC, most support for electricity bill payments for residents is done through DC's Department of Energy and Environment. So I can link to some of those programs that they run, but they run I don't remember what it stands for, the LIHEAP program
Yeah.
that opens later this year. There's also a residential aid discount program that they manage. And if you're in that program, you can also enroll in a program to manage your arrears, which is if you're behind on your Pepco bill payments. I'm just recommending that you explore your options at the DC Department of Energy and Environment in terms of like, what can I do immediately for my bills? In terms of ongoing awareness of how your bills are determined, I would emphasize to folks that all rate changes need to be approved by the Public Service Commission. And the commissioners on the Public Service Commission are nominated by the mayor. And so you may have an interest in who those people are.
And also organize with the folks that's in on your street or in your building, and make sure folks are aware of all of this information. And then the resolution should be on our April agenda. A link to the
Yeah, that's right.
resolution should be on the
Yeah,
April
I
agenda.
want to say it was April. I want to say it was
Okay.
just last month.
Okay.
So, we
I
should be
can
able to
grab
get
it.
that sent out soon.
Okay.
I can grab it and throw the link in the chat to the agenda. It hasn't, or I'm sorry, the resolution.
Thank
It sounds like it's pending some updates, but we can share what we got.
Yeah. And then just go on that website or call someone from DOEE and you get help. You have to fill out an application, but you can get help with your bill. Okay, we have commissioner reports. Do we have any commissioner reports? Although we did, the committee reports, do we have any additional commissioner reports?
Can I make a brief one?
Sure.
Thanks. I reported in my capacity as chair of the zoning committee, but I'd like to say in my capacity as commissioner for Union Market that I am aware and still upset that the situation facing residents at 440 Penn Street that I brought up last time is still happening. For those not aware, folks are dealing with basically ongoing noise violations into the wee hours of the morning. I understand my understanding of the situation is that the business causing this noise, disrupting these residents, is has been found to not be in violation of a license, right? DLCP said they're not in violation of a license. But based on my understanding of the facts, it seems that they may still be in violation of the Noise at Night Act. I am not a lawyer, that's not a determination, but I guess what I'm asking for from what I would appreciate from the council member's office or from the mayor's office is clarification on what agency enforces that legislation, right? Because if this business is properly licensed for its activities, then okay. But if they are in violation of DC statute, I think residents deserve to know how to achieve relief for that. And I'm going to continue trying to find relief for that to the extent I'm able to do so as your commissioner. And I'm sorry that this is still happening. Thanks.
Thank you, Commissioner Chobe. And as far as Ivy City, we're still dealing with illegal dumping. Our Cromel has been closed since April 6th. And we just want to make sure that no one is going on that site. There is a camera on that site, and they will, if there's somebody going on the site, it will capture that person and whoever's doing any illegal dumping in that area, that will capture them too. As far as anything else, Sergeant Leak will be having a start over the safety walks in Ivy City, and I know if there's anything pressing or anything that any issues in the community, they should be directed to Lieutenant Good. And that should be it for me. There's nothing that's coming up that I can think of. Next is Commissioner Roblin.
Yeah, hi, thanks. I'm Anna Roblin, Commissioner for 03. So there's not a lot going on right now. I have an ongoing project where some neighbors were complaining about a group that hangs out on Florida and Montello. So we have an action group together, and we're going to just work together with everybody to try to fix the problems and help everyone appreciate each other and get along and resolve some of the problems that people are having there. So our next step will be to meet people in the group. We already met with a few neighbors. So that's it that I have right now. Thanks.
Thank you, Commissioner Roblin. Commissioner Soseda, is it Commissioner McCray or Soseda? Hostler. Okay.
Yeah, nothing too critical. I'll note that we have a application in for an interesting community engagement project that is with ONC Office of Legal Analysis, or the office, and they're assessing the permissibility of it. So look forward to seeing that move forward. And on Montello and Queen, there's a new business that I need to go meet, a physical therapy and some other, I forget exactly the scope. And additionally, I think that might be all of it. There's one more piece I was going to mention, but I'll leave it at that, I think, at the moment. Oh, I will give a shout out to the Trash and Beautification Committee. They're working on some cross SME trash pickups, and so I appreciate that that they'll get into my personal space, which is appreciated, and appreciate that effort and organizing of community members.
Thanks, Commissioner Hostler. Commissioner Soseda Guzman.
Thanks, Chairwoman. Just a few little updates. We did get updates that some of the businesses in the Mount Olivet corridor are having a little bit of changes. Northeast Market is currently up for sale. The owners of the property where the Z Burger was, they're closely getting someone to sign a lease. Apparently a popular establishment from Maryland that's interested in coming over here into DC. So that might happen. We did get confirmation that the businesses off of the Mount Olivet Plaza, they did get planters to beautify that space. So that's a really good sign that the businesses are cooperating with the demands of the community. Outside of that, another business is the boxing gym. They are looking for a sponsorship with other ANCs in Ward 5. ANC A and ANC 5D are being approached for potential sponsorships, and the commissioner doing that is an ANC 5A. They are writing up something, so be on the lookout for that in the future in terms of what that looks like. They know very well that our request is get it verified and approved by OANC that this is permissible and we can talk. So looking forward to that coming in the future. But outside of that, I will say that we are still waiting for DPR to approve our permits for Trinidad Day. So we have a walkthrough scheduled on the 26th. Our seniors are coordinating that walkthrough with DPR. As I've said and mentioned before, the senior program has been the catalyst for Trinidad Day for, I would say traditionally for years, but definitely this year they're leading the charge. So I'm really proud of their efforts and work. So once we get that DPR walkthrough completed, we should be able to get a permit. Ms. Kingwood in the permit office has been very helpful. We do have a short estimate of what that would look like in terms of cost for DPR. And the seniors are putting together the rest of the budget for that event. So be on the lookout for the save the date flyer before we go into details for that. Outside of that, I did state in the last meeting that I was interested in seeing potentially if we can remove the bus shelter from the location off of Montello and Mount Olivet. We know it's plagued with a lot of sickness, victims of the drug war that happened here in DC. And that dilemma has really affected a lot of people, particularly in Trinidad, in more ways than one. And a lot of those folks literally still exist just on that in that bench on that shelter. So I've gotten feedback and positive positive interpretation and feedback from specific agencies and offices in the district. I'm still waiting to meet up with a couple of the community elders and one CEO, one nonprofit that I checked in with in terms of the ethics of this kind of request. It's a touchy subject. Some of the council members are not in support, which is fine. We don't want to unhouse people just because they are victims of something that really plagued a lot of residents here in the District of Columbia. So being very sound and very patient with this kind of matter because it's delicate. But outside of that, feel free to connect with me. And looking forward to continuing the trash pickups that we have on the last Saturday of the month. Those are at 12 p.m. We start at the rack and then we go around based on the needs of the community around that area. But outside of that, I did register with Parker's cleanup. I'm very happy to see that our council member is interested in cleaning up trash around the ward. So that's amazing. Shout out to them. But also shout out to the Traffic Beautification Committee because right now it's our most robust committee. And I'm very happy being the little commissioner that came into the ANC and made this committee and saw Commissioner Robin really take off of it after she was well resourced, not just with people, but with actual tools. So I'm really proud of y'all. Outside of that, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Salcedo Guzman. Next is Commissioner McCray.
Thanks so much. Good evening, everyone. So just a few updates from ANC 5D06. But before I begin my updates tonight, I want to start just with a brief moment of silence. Since our last public meeting, we lost a neighbor on the 1500 block of Queen Street. And I just want to say to those neighbors that saw him the day of, and his family, his friends, his loved ones. Gabe, you were incredibly friendly, super invested in the community, and rest well. You'll be deeply missed. So if anyone knows anyone on the 1500 block of Queen Street, there was a loss, and Gabe, you are missed. So I just want to start by saying that. I know neighbors are going to organize a block party in his honor, hopefully in the September timeframe. So more to come there. Just a few updates. I'll start with 19th and L Street, the park that's coming to Carver Langston. There are not any updates yet. So still waiting on permits from DPR. So nothing yet, but it's supposed to be coming very, very soon. They said summer, so we're almost there. So it should be groundbreaking soon, hopefully. So more to come there. A resident reached out in regards to kind of hosting something with all of the candidates in the area. So I reached out to the OANC just to see if we're allowed to do that since we're nonpartisan officials. So as long as everyone's invited, we can do a Q&A. So trying to see if I could get some folks on board to come just so we don't see a lot of the candidates come over on our side. So I think it would be nice to have residents interact. So more to come there. Still trying to figure out how to do that communication so that doesn't get tricky. So more to come. Hopefully before June 16th, if nothing else. It would be held virtually, hopefully, so more people can join, more people can ask questions, but it would be more of a Q&A session. So I'll keep folks posted on that. This Saturday, May the 16th, have a cleanup on the 1300 block of Orange Street Northeast. We'll hit the Trinidad side of the neighborhood, probably Orange, Staples, Neal, Oats on that side of the street. So come join us. We're going to start around 9 a.m. I know it's going to get hot pretty quickly. Hopefully we don't get rained out. So more to come there. But feel free to join us. We'll be having a good time. Just as a quick note, on Bladensburg Road, northeast between K and L Street, there's going to be a wheelchair ramp installed or wheelchair ramp improvements. So there's going to be some parking restrictions there. I know there's already parking restrictions, but those further restrictions are going to happen between Thursday, May 21st and June the 4th. So just be mindful between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. I did send an email to neighbors surrounding that area, but just noting that for the public there. I hope that they post signs, but sometimes signs go missing. So just be mindful of that. Another note, I've had several residents reach out. A lot of residents have the disabled residential parking in our neighborhood, specifically in 5D06. Please just be mindful that you are leaving space for those neighbors to park and do not park in their spaces. A lot of residents are having issues with those spaces and you can get towed immediately from that. So please be mindful of that. Working with DDOT on that just to make sure those residents that have those spaces are given that space because it is there for a reason. So please be mindful of that. Similar to what Commissioner Sauceda Guzman just mentioned, myself and Commissioner Roblin will also be doing a cleanup on May the 30th with Councilmember Parker's team for the Ward 5-day cleanup, and we'll be at 19th and Maryland Avenue starting at 9 o'clock. So come join us. We'll be on the Carver Langston side, so feel free to come and join us. And just lastly, Community Resource Fair, June the 6th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. We have a lot of folks coming out. We got C. Sosa, DC Board of Elections, since ballots just went out. If you have questions, come out. DC Board of Elections will be there. We'll have DPW, Department of Health, Rat Academy. MedStar will be doing some health screenings, still waiting on some doctors to confirm, so hopefully they will. But MedStar will be out there as well, and a ton of other community resources. There is not a rain date because it's not going to rain. So make sure to come out and join us. And just feel free to reach out if you have anything. And just last note, Safeway, we still have not heard back. We've been reaching out, have not heard back. So we do not know what that new brochure is going to look like, but hoping we can get some updates. But that's all for me. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Commissioner McCray. And we have Commissioner G. Campbell. Do you have any updates?
Hi, I'm Commissioner Campbell for 509 licensed, 19 and licensed. The only thing I have right now is that I'm doing a walkthrough with one of the candidates who's running for DC at large, which is Kevin Shavers. That is at 9 o'clock a.m. this coming Saturday. So if anybody wants to meet him, they could come out on 19th Street in Bennett, Northeast, Washington, DC. So y'all can hear what he have to say, what's his visions for DC. And again, his name is Kevin Shavers, and his father used to be a DC at large council. So again, y'all can come out and meet him. And then also I'm gonna have a few more walkthroughs with other DC at large candidates come. And also we have a walkthrough coming up with Renita Carmichael, who's running against Parker. So she's gonna do a walkthrough also. So if you want to come out and meet her, it's gonna be this upcoming Saturday, May the 16th at 9 a.m. Starting point is 19th Street and Bennett Road. That's it for right now.
Thank you, Commissioner G. Campbell. Do we have time for a couple of questions? Do anyone have any questions for any of the commissioners?
I do not have any in the Q&A.
Okay, great. Do we have someone from 5D, MPD 5D?
Lieutenant Otero's here, Chairwoman.
Good evening, everyone.
Thank you, Lieutenant Otero. I'm sorry.
It's okay. How you all doing tonight?
Doing wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. A little tired, but it's not your fault. You have to go to work and do some other stuff at home. Well, first, I hope everybody enjoyed their weekends. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to let me know. I kind of like jump in the last minute. Lieutenant Good is the PSA 507 lieutenant, but she worked midnight shift, so I jump in a meeting just to make sure that we have some kind of representation. But if you guys have a particular subject you want to talk about, I know I saw a few emails when it comes down to some concerns on, I think it's Oak Street. Not sure the person that is send the email. It's online or it's in the meeting today.
Yes, that was me, Commissioner Roblin. Yeah. Yeah, we really would love some answers on that.
Okay, so I thought it was Mr. Swanson, I believe. But
Yes.
okay, so in reference to that, so this is one thing we cannot provide information when it comes down to specific call for services, because you're required then if we have reports numbers, then we can provide you with that. Then you can get a copy of the police report. But when it comes down to us responding to specific assignment that requires some sort of investigation, it is we cannot do that. The reason why is if we have any investigation going on in that specific block, with that specific people, we're compromising the integrity of the investigation, and that can jeopardize the entire investigation, and everything will go down the drain. So that's why I understand that you guys may want details and specific information about people, cars, stuff like that, but also put yourself in that position that, let's say in this case, if someone from the outside decided to say, hey, Josh, I just want the license plate, or who's the owner of this vehicle, this e-tag, and it just happened that could be yours, Miss Roblin. So do you want me to provide that information to anyone that just come and ask for it? No, I'm not saying you guys are anyone, because we know each other due to the meetings and our relationship with the community and the agencies. But that's something that we have to protect the information that we have, and also to protect the information from our community. That's
I
something
see.
that we don't want to cross the line, because it can go into a liability issue. And then, of course, being in law enforcement, we're supposed to be protecting more than, providing information that can be used against people that we're supposed to be protecting.
I see. I'm sorry about that. I
No,
didn't
it's okay.
realize that. Thank you. And we just have some of the neighbors who are there who wrote in the chat. Yeah.
Okay, let me see.
Is there any other commissioners with questions before we move to the public?
No.
I had two questions, Lieutenant Otero. Given the recent situations happening with the Metropolitan Police Department in terms of leadership moving around due to these investigations that are ongoing, has any changes occurred at the Fifth District?
Not really. The district has not been affected at all. Of course, the names of most of these officials came up on the news. None of them has been assigned to the Fifth District. So the Fifth District is directly not affected by these changes or this source of investigation.
Outside of the investigation, is there potential that some of y'all might move due to all these leadership roles popping up and need for promotions and changes? Has that happened? Do you foresee that happening at the Fifth District?
So we haven't heard anything. I'll be honest with you. There's always when there's a big shakeup in the police department or a lot of changes and transfer, there's gonna be people moved around. As far as I know, we have a meeting, not actually a formal meeting, but we talk among us and we talk to Commander Rooney, and we haven't heard anything coming from the chief of police or the headquarters saying that they're going to transfer any lieutenant sergeants or any official supervisor from the Fifth District anywhere. If that was going to happen, it would have happened last Friday or last Tuesday or Wednesday. And this one we have one of the teletype or the email that came with a lot of changes, people getting promoted, people getting transferred. And as of now, nothing has been changed, at least for the Fifth District. So we're supposed to stay consistent with what we have.
Thank you.
And we'll be able to see if we.
And again, I apologize for all of this stuff going on now with the police department. Is not only embarrassing, but it's unacceptable. So on behalf of the ones that are actually doing what they're supposed to be doing, and of course, this is an ongoing investigation, but regardless, I think somebody should be able to provide an apology to the people that we serve. This shouldn't be happening, and it's happening as we speak. So of course there is a procedures that they have to investigate for the disciplinary process. And once they make a determination, I'm assuming that you guys will know because the news are giving a lot of coverage on that. To just hope that that image, I know it's going to affect everyone in the police department because it's huge what is going on. But I just hope that minimize the damage and maybe we can just get back up in our feet and try to regain that confidence and trust.
Thank you, Lieutenant. Quick question about some of the area in PSA 506, which is Trinidad and Ivy City. We see a great amount of residents hanging out at the rec center. I have not gotten any inkling that they're the types that, you know, sell drugs or have guns on them. We appreciate you all kind of just honestly letting them live, enjoy their time. We appreciate that kind of community understanding with these type of folks, but there's 2 residents on this call tonight, 3, that are kind of requesting information on the other end of Trinidad, on the other end of PSA 506, which potential gatherings do include maybe drug sales, do include guns, particularly on Sims Place and Montello. Can you speak to that?
Excuse me. When it comes down to Montel and Sims Place, so we do have what we call the Trinidad box, a unit that is assigned there. Plus, we also have the high visibility units. After 4 o'clock, then we also have the federal task force. They're always like driving around. They're always like investigating cases. They're always responding to call for services, regardless of, you know, how minimal or insignificant we call like it's something like a simple disorderly can turn into something worse. But I mean, so far they've been doing a very proactive job in PSA 506 because about a year and a half ago, 506 was really bad. I'm sure that you remember that because we have a couple of homicide in the Trinidad neighborhood. It was really bad, especially on the Ivy City as well. There was not homicide in that area, but we had a lot of issues with homeless, with dumping trash in the different alleys or on the street. But so far, pulled the crime data, and based on that, I mean, I cannot be any happier. I think we are one of the PSA from 5D that are right now away from everything else with the other 5 PSA. So we've been doing pretty good. I just pulled the crime data from the last 3 months, and 3 months ago we have in crime 1 homicide that stays stable, sex abuse none. We have assault with dangerous weapon. It went from 6 to 4, and from robbery we just went up 2 robberies, and then now we have 1. But beside that, I don't see any additional information, and I don't know if I can screenshot this.
Lieutenant Altero, I appreciate what you shared, but the thing is, when a bullet goes through someone's window, the crime stats don't mean nothing to us. And here in ANC 5D, we always get the same stats. We respect that stats are different from last year. But the thing is, in a moment where community has broken a lot of relationship and trust in the Metropolitan Police Department due to external and internal factors, we just can't hear stats as part of our response. So I'm just speaking from a lot of these residents that are just really tired, really angry, just fed up. So it's not an attack on you or the 5th district. It's just a release of, you know, actual tea. It's the truth. So with that being said, being that we're coming into the warmer season, just so I can close this out, because this is all I think a lot of folks want to hear. As we're coming into the warmer season, is there any changes of potential deployment? Is there anything that we're going to be feeling differently? Because we understand there are federal officers, the National Guard, they're all here, but we look to y'all first. So if there's anything you could touch on for 5D in terms of what the summer can look like, especially in these hot spots, we would really appreciate that.
Yeah, so let me address first about what you're talking about, the bullet in the windows and all that stuff. There was a shooting on 1100 block of Oats, Northeast, and that was in May 6th. The call for service came around 1:17 a.m. The officers arrived to the scene at 1:18. The officer closed the report after canvassing for almost 20 minutes at 1:35. The email said that the MPD officer took 3 hours to get there, which that's not true. This is based on facts that I actually got today when I got the email at 1 p.m. So for sure, I'm not going to sugarcoat what it is. It's realistic. Every time the summer comes in, things start getting worse. And I understand that. Now, when I'm start looking at specific, let's say like this specific email from Ms. Roblin, Mr. Swanson, that she follow up to get information for him. I went all the way back until January, and we only have 5 call for services on that specific block. One of them is shooting. The rest of them were disorderly conducts. So if we're not getting the call for services, so we can then identify those specific areas that requires more special attention, then it's hard for us to say, okay, let's go ahead and go here and let's create a crime plan in order for us to then fight or engage. Then these people are hanging around here, like the one that he stated from 1108 Oates, or Otis, I believe is the name of the street. So when I'm started looking for the 911 call for services for the last 6 months, and this is all I have, and then I compare it to all these areas from 506, it is very hard for me to sustain to the commander or to my bosses that we have to prepare a crime plan when we only have one call for services for a shooting that could be considered to be an isolated situation, and not something that is consistently happening in this place due to specific crimes. So yeah, we're not gonna be able to stop a bullet going through a window because we're not there, but we have to talk with the facts of what it is. It didn't take 3 hours to respond to the scene. It took them 2 to 3 minutes to get there. And they took a police report. Anyone said, I'll give it to you. But when it comes down to the summer, we always have to change the crime plans because just like you guys know, we created crime plans. We have a way to operate. But when it comes down to criminal, they know who we are. They know our change of shift. They know everything that we do. If we're responding to that specific location with sirens, they will see it. With the lights, they will see it blocks away. And I know that I've seen a lot of emails of citizens complaining that every time the MPD arrive, they are no longer there or they spray. There's not much that we can do when that happens. But this is also what happening too. If you guys are calling the police, I'm not expecting you guys to expose yourself as a target. But if you don't want to be interviewed by the police, not even on the phone, so then we can get more accurate and live information without exposing physically yourself out there, there's not much that we can do other than just get there, see what we can find, and then proceed based on what we have. But it's all we have is just one call and say there's 5 or 6 guys loitering here or screaming or fighting, whatever. And when we get there, they're not there. And then we call the dispatcher, can you please use the call back and see if they want to be interviewed or if there's additional information that we need to know, like where are they going, they live in a specific house. The dispatcher say no answer on the phone, or he doesn't want to be or she doesn't want to be interviewed. So you see, our job is very limited, and we have to be careful not crossing the line with the Fourth Amendment invasion of privacy.
Yeah, I think that it was a different day. I believe they definitely said that you did come right away at 1:18 a.m. It was a different day that took 3.5 hours, I think.
Okay, so that probably was in 1528 Oak Street, and that was in May 9. And that priority was not for a shooting. That was a complaint for disorderly. That's based on what I have today from the dispatcher. Yes.
Yeah, it was just that the car was there. So it would have been great, like if you guys could have gotten the car because the car was there at that time. But, I know, no.
Just don't forget, we may have the car. We don't have probable cause to stop the car. Nobody saw what the car did. Based on the call for service and the note said they hear sounds of gunshot. This is for May 6th. And they say that there were sounds of gunshot, then a car speed away, right away. But then somebody provided the license plate, which is fine. That's actually great. But again, once we get there, it's not there. There's nothing that we can do. We cannot stop and we can initiate a possible investigation, but based on what? because
No,
when the
no,
person
I thought maybe you could have knocked on the door and just gone and asked the people that answered the door, like who their friends, if their friends were there, or just done something like that. That's what I was thinking.
yes, just you got to be mindful and be careful about that because in order for us to do stuff like this, if it's not under the investigatory part, I'm sure that you don't want somebody, the police, to be knocking on your door for no other reason and they start asking you a question. Because then if we do that to your house, we might be targeting your house with not on purpose. Because then other people in the community that are not doing well or doing criminal stuff, they will say, oh, they're talking to the police. So maybe now we're targeting the wrong house in order for us to get information that was given to us by someone that doesn't want to be interviewed. So that's why we just don't take information right away without we corroborate it, that the information that was given to us can lead us to a specific place to investigate further. But it's all we have is just a call and description. We have to work with that. But our job is limited again because we just cannot go further if we don't have enough to do a better investigatory job in our side.
Okay,
Mhm.
thank you. We're a little behind. Do we have any more questions for Lieutenant Attorney? Is there somebody in the?
There's
Somebody need
someone yelling
911?
outside the physical meeting room. Hold on.
Yeah,
Oh, okay,
hold
okay,
hold
okay.
tight just 1 second for us in the room at least. It might have just, we're at Union Market, guys, so it could have just been somebody,
Mhm.
having a little too much fun.
Salvador's looking.
And it echoes in the hallway, so.
Right.
Okay, we have Lacey Davis.
Real quick,
Mocha.
Commissioner Rhodes,
Yes.
there was one question in the chat.
Oh, okay, okay.
There was an incident that occurred on the 1300 block of Staples early on May 3rd, and it was involving police. Can you give a little bit more about what happened? Were shots fired? Just can you give us a little bit more information about what occurred there?
When this happened?
May the 3rd?
I will have to inquire about that. Let me see what it's May the 3rd. Yeah, May the 3rd, I was not working, but I will get information if you want. Just send me an email and I will get the
Okay.
information, inquire about that and send it to you what we can share. And if I
Okay,
have the
cool.
report
Thank you.
numbers, then I'll send you the report numbers as well.
Last question. Someone asked about a cruiser at Sims. Can MPD adjust putting a cruiser at Sims and Montello?
I'm not sure what's your question about putting a
I
closer in
think
things
that
on
the
Monticello.
neighbors are asking what it would cost MPD to place another cruiser in that site, like you all have at the shopping center in front of Montello.
Here, I have the actual question.
Or stuffing.
Can you hear me?
That's all it takes. Sorry. We don't have the amount of staff to cover. We have the Pentacles, we have Ivy City, we have Saratoga. So we have a lot of details. The Pentacles all the way Benning Road from the 1500 block to the 2100 block is a hot zone right there. And then as north as Benning Road, and then to the other side to Gale Street. That's all that rectangular shape. It is pretty hot right now.
And you said there's a cruiser in Ivy City?
Correct. There is a cruiser that is assigned to patrol Ivy City. That's what we call the high visibility. That is, as long as we have enough staffing to assign a cruiser there. Otherwise, then the PSA cruiser will provide special attention. But we have specific high visibility overtime unit that is assigned to Ivy City. Another one is assigned to Saratoga. And then the other 4 or 5 of them are assigned to the Pentacles, which is Benning Road from 15 to 21st Street.
All right. I think we covered all the questions. We have Lacey Davis from the mayor's office that's on now.
Good evening, everyone. I don't have much. I just want to let you guys know about the mayor has launched a new 3.875 million restaurant and retail stabilization grant program to support DC restaurants and small businesses. The district released the 2026 point in time count showing homelessness increased 4.4% from 2025 while remaining significantly below pre-pandemic levels. Family shelter entries declined 30% due to prevention programs like DC Flex and homeless prevention programs. Unsheltered homelessness declined by 9.3% due to expanded street outreach efforts. DC tourism reached record economic impact in 2025, generating 11.9 billion in visitor spending and supporting more than 114,000 jobs. The mayor is hoping to continue that. DPR continues hiring for summer jobs, including lifeguards, camp staff, and youth program positions at earnwithdpr.com. And of course, you guys mentioned earlier, the council office is having their spree cleaning coming up May 30th, and I'm pretty sure they will be on here tonight to talk about that. And that's it I have. And also, I'm very excited to be a part of your cleaning committee with Commissioner Roblin, and look forward to tackling this rodent and constant illegal dumping and litter problem that we have.
Thank you so much, Lacey Davis. We appreciate your information. And next, we have Adriana Lovelace from our Councilmember Parker's office.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Andriana Lovelace. Can you hear me?
Yes. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I'm Andriana. I'm a constituent service coordinator from Councilmember Parker's office. Just some short updates. It is now budget oversight hearing season. It started on April 20th, so this is a critical time for neighbors to weigh in throughout the budget oversight hearings to ensure your neighborhood priorities are heard and considered. You can explore the hearing calendar and submit written testimony or sign up to testify by visiting the council website. On May 30th, we are having our Ward 5 Healthy Community Spring Cleaning. We have two sites in Ward 5 and 5D with Commissioner McCray and Commissioner Salvador. So we're excited to have those out. The signups for this it closes tomorrow. So if anybody else in 5D wants to host a cleanup, maybe in Union Market, any other area, we're happy for you to sign up. Lastly, you can submit feedback on the draft future land use map by May 17th. So the Office of Planning has been going to different ANC meetings and civic association meetings, and they have begun working to fully rewrite the district's comprehensive plan for the first time in nearly 20 years. Over the past several months, they've hosted workshops and surveys. And a few weeks ago, the Office of Planning released a draft of the future land use map. When it comes to Ward 5, this draft proposes some positive changes, but it also disproportionately misses key opportunities and perpetuates inequities. One positive is the proposal for more development opportunities along Rhode Island Avenue. But we are disappointed to see that while the draft modestly increases housing capacity, it fails to address the legacy of concentrated industrial land use in Ward 5. Rather than confronting those current inequities and reimagining these areas for high density mixed use neighborhoods, it preserves the status quo and perpetuates existing inequities into the foreseeable future. There's much more to come on the comp plan, but for now, we encourage neighbors to participate in the Office of Planning's open feedback period on the draft future land use map. And you can explore more of the proposal and share your thoughts on what the future of Ward 5 should be. That's all my updates for tonight, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Adriana. Does anyone have any questions for Adriana or Lacey Davis?
Chairwoman, a quick question. Ms. Lovelace, is our councilor coming out to one of the cleanups in 5D?
He is. He's gonna try to stop by all of them, but I told him
Okay.
5D is where he needs to be, so he'll be in 5D.
All right, good.
Thank you.
Yeah, because he
Yeah,
missed
good.
our cleanup that we had with Water Woods and the Anacostia Watershed Society and Lacey Davis and the mayor's office. I believe, do you remember how many pounds of trash? I think it was over 600 pounds of trash that was
Oh, that's
picked up.
nuts.
It was years. It was years of dumpings of trash. The whole dumpster was filled. But that was a collaborative effort with Wood Eight Woods and the mayor's office. And so
Everybody's in there.
Oh, and before I forget, we have reached out to DMPED about the Safeway closure. So once we get an answer, I will definitely give you all an answer.
Thank you.
You're
thank
welcome.
you. Any more questions for our Ward 5 team? But thank you so much for hanging out with us. And thank you for your updates. We appreciate you. Now it's time for requested presentations. Do we have William Spence?
Yes, you do.
Okay,
Yes.
good.
And where's you at?
You can come up and speak to the mic. You'll be able to get access to the camera once you start speaking.
Should we give you a mic? All right.
I mean, I'm thinking.
Which one is it?
Kind of loud.
Okay.
Think I'll be fine.
All right.
And good evening, first of all, to all the commissioners tonight. And it was just interesting sitting through the whole meeting and listening to what's going on. Brett Point's new office spaces in Union Market upstairs. And so we're kind of in this community now as an organization. And so appreciate being here. Want to highlight tonight Commissioner Rhodes and just her support of Brett Point in the community, and Commissioner Hosty for the invite to come out tonight and present. So Brett Point is creating economies of dignity, setting tables of welcome in the community. Who we are, Brett Coin's mission is to create economies of dignity where everyone has a seat at the table through a neighbor-funded token that opens doors for individuals to access nutritious meals and local businesses to thrive. Brett Coin's mission directly addresses three problem areas: inadequate food assistance for people without access to a kitchen, the epidemic of social isolation, and overlooked economies in underserved communities. So what do we do? Brett Coin's holistic approach to addressing the problems of food insecurity, the isolation, and depleted local economies is implemented through three interconnected programs. Number one, the Brett Coin Token Network. Brett Coin tokens are valued at $3 that can be redeemed at any participating local food vendor as a method of payment, providing their own nutritious meal and opening new streams of revenue for vendors. Then we have the Table Network addressing the problem of social isolation. We aim to set tables at welcome set in every community in our country eventually, beginning in communities where we operate. Brett Coin's decentralized network of restaurants and caterers often bring these shared tables into communities that would otherwise have no place to collect together. And finally, the Brett Coin Loan Network is the third part of what we do and how we establish our mission. By strengthening otherwise overlooked local economies, Brett Coin provides access to financing small businesses that would typically not qualify for traditional loans. So these three programs work together in this way: creating local economies of dignity where food insecurity is reduced. Every person has an opportunity to experience human connection, and local businesses can thrive. And so I'll leave for the commission some flyers, just our one pager. On the back is more information about the statistics around Brett Point and how it's impacted the community around meals. During my kind of last 2 minutes myself, I just get off the page for a minute if I could, since I have no time left before questions, and just say that we have now in this area, Wings and More Wings at 19th and D. I think it might be your area. Royal Rooster across the street. Blossom Bakery is West Virginia Avenue in Mount Olivet, right there across from Bethesda Baptist Church, that kind of big footprint there in that plaza. You guys may have called that Mount Olivet Plaza earlier, you may have. So Blossom Bakery is one of our vendors as well, who's taking Brett Coins in the community. Sergeant Leak is we donate around the city as much as we can. And Fifth District is one of those departments that we donate breadcrumbs to. So he does a lot of programming at Starburst Plaza and around the community, making sure that people are being fed a big choice in the area. And so the goal is obviously for us is to keep money local. We want to make sure that these local businesses are sustained. And that's why we keep the money local through a community funded token, along with the loan program that allows those vendors, after several months with Breadcoin, based on their redemption rate, they can get up to 25K in funding from Breadcoin and pay it back in Breadcoin. And the goal of that obviously is what I just stated again, to help keep that money local. Because if we do that, then we're able to stop it from going out of the community through corporate interests that leave this neighborhood and hopefully bring more dignity and more inclusion for people in the community. And so one of my jobs with Breadcoin more often than not is setting tables in the community. So we do these outdoor, what we call flash tables. And we'll set up about 6 to 8 tables, white tablecloths. It looks like a wedding banquet. And we just set them up in neighborhoods that people use some belonging and some inclusion. And we ask them to come sit at those tables. Our volunteers serve those tables, and our vendors make the money off that event. And then from there, I host shared tables, which in Blossom Bakery and other restaurants that have indoor seating, I just invite community stakeholders to come together. We come around those tables and we just start to remind ourselves about the power of sitting at tables and what meals have meant to us all our lives. And whether that's our biological families, our found families, whatever that is, we all need a place at the table. So Breadcoin wants to make sure that that is not precluded by any person. They're able to come and sit at a table at any point, get a meal, but also get connected in their community with people who care about them and are willing to support them. So 3 seconds, 2, 1. So any questions, please feel free.
Thank you so much,
So,
William Spence, for that presentation. I'll start with questions from the commissioners if there's any, but I do have a question about we heard about $7,000 in bread coins were stolen. Is that affecting any of the distribution in, within our neighbors?
That's a fantastic question. So I got 2 responses to that. Number one, no, it wasn't affecting the distribution of bread coins in the community, but we were hoping, number one, to get those tokens returned once the person found out they could not really do much with them. They were stolen, obviously, out of a vehicle, where bread coins were in the trunk of a vehicle, and they broke into the car and stole them. So, but we're happy to report that after all news media attention, and somebody stood up and covered all those bread coins that went missing. So for the sake of Breadcoin, we're able to make sure we get those tokens back into circulation now again, based on that donor's compassion. So we really, really are excited about that. Yeah, so thank you for asking that question.
Awesome, that is awesome.
Yeah, so DC is our base, and so we got about 70 restaurants in DC who take Breadcoins all around the city. And we work hard for the eastern side of the city. We've done a lot of work here in the 5D footprint, and for years now. And I'm glad to hear there's a restaurant coming in where Z Burger used to be. Well, that was the former vendor. That vendor didn't take Breadcoins, but the former vendor that was there did take Breadcoins. And we used to host tables right in that parking lot there and feed the community. So I'm hoping whoever's coming in will be a friend to the community and be able to circulate Breadcoins there as well. So we'll connect. Yeah, we love to get connected with that. So, my shameless plug.
you all do some amazing work.
Well, the question is, how does a local business really get plugged into this for their clientele? What's the best way to do that?
So local business, our website is pretty friendly for vendors. If they want to go on the website, they can see a vendor application there that they can fill out if they get directed there. Our onboarding person who tracks that will contact them, get them fully onboarded. We do a kind of back office payment system through Stripe, a thing called Stripe. And so all the vendors get paid through that Stripe once they get approved on that platform. So it takes about 48 hours to get the whole thing set up, and the vendor can start taking records.
And there's
Yeah,
a
it's pretty
match.
quick. So the other thing we do, thank you for
about the
saying that,
match.
is that we do with nonprofits who are at $1 million or below in their annual budgets. Breadcoin will match up to a $300 purchase of Breadcoins each month. So if it's a recurring purchase every month of $300, the organization will get a match from Breakpoint up to that 300, and to increase the impact in the community. And so, you guys know any nonprofit or if the I don't know if the ANC commissions purchase Breakpoints or not, but it would be an interesting thought for something like that to happen where we could potentially match it as well. So,
But we can ask.
Yeah.
We can ask.
we've had ANCs purchase them before, kind of a one-off for an event or something like that, but
Right.
an ongoing recurring purchase, we've never experienced that. So that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
And to see if something like that was possible. So one of the reasons why I'm asking is because right at Union Market, the head of security there, we're having a conversation with, and they are dealing with cars that are being broken in. The officers still here. They are dealing with young people coming through, and sometimes some of the clientele is not comfortable with some of those interactions, and they want to. So they're giving kids money out of their own pockets to security around, and so they would really appreciate having the breadcrumbs to be able to hand out, and that may have nothing to do with the commissioners, but just the idea that those breadcrumbs are present in the community, somebody can go in and get a meal rather than kind of just wandering around, if they're hungry.
Rec centers is a good place to distribute them too. So the kids.
Yeah, it's absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
absolutely.
the resource fair is a good.
Sounds like we'll keep seeing you, especially in Trinidad Day, hopefully.
Well, I'm absolutely excited about doing that. So I mean, it's part of my job. So please, if anything questions, or you have a vendor, restaurant you'd be interested in inviting to come and talk to us, or a partner, anybody, any individuals purchase breakfast. And they just purchase them and they carry them out into their community and they hand them out. And just to people in the neighborhood. And what we also try to encourage people to do is purchase breadcrumbs and then take your family out for a meal. Go to a breadcrumb vendor because you're helping to keep money local while you're doing it. And at the same time, we get to destigmatize the token, right? We don't want people to think this is just simply the homeless guy's token, the homeless girl's token. That's not what it is. It's an opportunity to strengthen local economies, as I said before, and obviously bring people into human connection. That's what we want. A lot of our neighbors who are struggling, right, do need connection, and that helps a lot. So my next 5 minutes, you guys might be up by now. I want to honor your time.
Thank you so much.
Anything else?
William, does anyone have any questions? And
I would
do
like
you have
to
your
ask a question,
information?
but I recognize we're behind time, so I defer to the chair on if we should proceed or not.
No, go ahead and ask your question.
Hi, I'm the commissioner for Union Market, so I have an interest in what you're saying. Let me make sure I understand how each of the stakeholders in your business model are interacting with you.
Sure.
So if I want to give food to my neighbors, I buy some bread coin. That's so there's like a donor, there's like a person who might otherwise give to a food bank. They might instead choose to buy some bread coin from you. Is that accurate? Okay. And then there are businesses that sign up to take bread coin, and then they can exchange them with you for US dollars. So so am I correct that there are people who buy the tokens, people who use the tokens, and businesses that receive the tokens?
You got that completely.
Okay. How does someone who wants to use the tokens get them?
That's always the key question.
Okay.
And so it's points of distribution like Officer Lee.
Okay.
We'll be at a consistent place every week handing them out.
Okay.
We do have hubs around the city like DC Dream Center in Southeast that has them there, and people can come in and actually get them up to a certain amount every month and pick them up.
So you have community partners that
We have
are,
community partners that are constantly distributing the coins.
because they purchase those coins or someone else purchased those coins?
Some of them in the context of a mutual purchase, like you talked about, a matching purchase, right?
Okay.
Where they purchased and we matched.
Okay.
So our nonprofit partners do that. And then there are schools. I mean, like, Center City Public Charter School.
Okay.
They probably have the most bread coins in the city because of how much they purchase to take care of their students and their students' families. And those students go to those local businesses and utilize those tokens. So it's a beautiful ecosystem of, keeping those kids fed, they can eat their families, but also making sure that the business is sustained. So you're absolutely right. That's exactly how it works.
Well, thank you for your presentation. I think it's really interesting. And if I have any questions, I know who to.
Please, shoot me an email. All right.
I'll be
Thanks, guys.
reaching out for the June 6th Community Resource Fair too, for
Yeah, please
Starbucks
do.
Plus.
Please do. We love partnering for fairs and things like that too, because we
Yeah.
like people to use our vendors.
Okay.
You know, our mobile trucks, you know what I mean? And people would normally purchase breadcoins from us, and then they would just use them with the vendor when the vendor comes. Right? So an organization would do that so they can create equity around that event.
Okay.
Okay, we got your recording saying that, so we'll hold you accountable.
Absolutely.
Cool. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, William. Do we have Alex there from VO Bike Rentals?
Yes, they're here in the room.
Okay, great. Hey, Alex.
I have my presentation going up now, looks like.
Yeah,
So,
There we go.
thank you.
All right, good evening. Can everybody who's online hear me okay? Is this the right way to do this? Yeah. Excellent. I'm Alex Kozorski. I'm a Policy and Partnerships Manager for VIO. I'm also an ANC 5D resident. My wife and I are at 1403 Orin Northeast, so I think you're single member district. So it's cool to be here for my home ANC. What I wanted to do was walk through sort of just some quick pointers, hopefully do 5 minutes, excuse me, for just what VIO is. Give the overview, like how we fit into the ecosystem of dockless vehicles in DC, and then leave 5 minutes for questions, whether it's about VIO specifics or issues like parking or safety or anything. Does that sound like a good way to go?
yeah.
Excellent. Next slide, please. Cool. So VIO is a micromobility company. We operate in cities throughout the US. We're 9 years old. We were founded by 2 immigrant grad students at Purdue in 2017. Have diversified fleet options, really pride ourselves on prioritizing long-term relationships with cities. Next slide, please. You can see there some of the 50 plus markets we operate in. We're in big markets like DC. We're the sole operator in Denver, Colorado. We're in LA. We're in New York City. We're also in a lot of smaller places, Wichita, Kansas, Cedar Rapids, Iowa, college towns throughout the country. Next slide, please. We pride ourselves on being not only environmentally, but fiscally sustainable. We're not a fly-by-night company. We're one of the few companies that's actually been profitable EBIT for 2024, which means we're not a company that's going to disappear suddenly overnight, which is something that historically in the short-lived era of the industry has been an issue. Next slide, please. Within DC, we are one of 3 private operators currently permitted. The way DC works is there is DDOT gives permits for 2-year cycles. They give permits separately for scooters and separately for e-bikes. Right now, ourselves and Lime are the 2 e-bike operators within DC. Lime and Hop have scooters. This is the 2025-26 permit cycle. So all of us are up for renewal this fall, and then we'll either be here or it'll be new companies that come in 2027 and 2028. Obviously, we hope that we'll still be here at that point. We operate 4,000 plus e-bikes throughout DC. We had over 2 million rides in 2025, over 170,000 ending in Ward 5. Next slide, please. We operate again, mainly just those Cosmo Class 2 e-bikes. They are called Class 2 because they have a thumb throttle, and that's basically where all the power comes from. So the pedals will work, but they're not something that's going to add to the motor itself. We also have a limited number of cargo e-bikes, though this summer we should have a couple hundred more of those. So you'll start to see more of them on the road. Next slide, please. Standard pricing, $1 a minute or $1 unlock, and then 46 cents a minute. But we have a lot of membership programs. So for folks who ride a lot or lower income, which I'll get into in a second, there's some good deals to be had there as well. Next slide, please. We are really pleased, and oh shoot, that's not really coming up. Hopefully it's coming up for everybody on the screen. I should have thought about the white on white background on putting that there. What this slide shows you is just how much micromobility is taking off in DC right now. We're seeing a 49% increase year over year from 24 to 25 in terms of the rides across all of the operators. So more and more people are taking advantage of this to use to get to wherever they need to go, work, school, doctor's office. Next slide. Grocery, what have you. For us in DC, we are particularly proud of who is riding and the service that we're able to provide. So over half of our riders report having an income household under 50,000. 59% of all riders are Black, 22% are white. Over half of them do not have access to a car. 36% don't even have a driver's license. So as you can imagine, almost 3/5 of them report using VIO to connect to transit. So it's not just, hey, I'm taking this, for a joyride around town. I'm taking it to get to somewhere I need to go. And it's part of an overall transportation ecosystem for those folks. Another thing we're especially proud of, and these numbers are consistent in all the cities we operate in, 20 to 30%, 24% of our riders identify as having a mobility challenge, a physical disability. Next slide, please. Last slide here, and then very happy to answer any questions. I just want to highlight our VIO Access program. So this is our low-income customer program. If you are 200% of the poverty level or below, you're eligible to get a really great, really good discounted rides. It's $5 a month that you're paying, but then at that point, you're effectively getting free rides. It's 30-minute rides or less. If you go over that 30 minutes, it's going to be 20 cents a minute, but you can stop, get off, get another ride, and the clock basically resets. So it is an incredibly good deal for lower income community members. And we're really proud of the fact that of our total miles traveled on a VIO in 2025, 23% of that was from our low income customer program. So I'm just a font of stats about VIO. I really could go on for a while. I'm going to stop there. If you could go to the next slide, there's just a sort of some subjective stuff just from our most recent survey that I think gives you a perspective, but I'll stop there and very happy to take any questions and appreciate everything y'all do.
Thank
Thank you, Alex. Does anyone have any questions? Any commissioners have any
Yes. Actually, I was looking in the chat. There's some questions that I also have because
for sure,
as you know, we have a lot of residents that tend to have to walk over these bikes just because of how they're parked. I guess, is there a way? I know when you use Capital Bike Share and you ride through like Capitol Hill, you get that kind of error message. Don't ride here. Is there a way to maybe, or are there any thoughts on having it so you can't park it a certain way so that it at least has to be upright or it can't be knocked over? A lot of older residents I know are having issues with kind of it being in the sidewalk, having to maneuver around it sometimes. Are there any thoughts on kind of making sure they're upright, kind of affixed in a way where they don't fall over, harm the sidewalk, and allow kind of that still consistent mobility?
Great question, and one of the number one challenges for that has to be addressed if this is going to be something that stays as a permanent piece of the ecosystem.
Yeah.
I know that VIO recognizes that. I assume all the operators recognize that, but I can only speak for VIO. So give you a sense of sort of how this works on the back end, because I know it can be very frustrating when you're just walking through and seeing that vehicle there. So if someone parks in a way that is illegal, and parking on a sidewalk to block someone coming is illegal, it's against the regulations, it's against the permit, it's against the agreement that someone signs when they become that. There is a schedule of violations and fines that we give when we're aware of that. So the first time that happens, you're going to get a violation. And then you're going to have an escalating scale after that. So you start to see a lot of movement once you start to get into that. And the same person who maybe does that isn't going to do it again, or if they are, if they keep going on that, eventually they will be suspended from our platform. Now, as I said, we have over 4,000 bikes that are in the area, and dockless micromobility at its heart works best when I drop the bike off and then somebody's coming along right after that to pick up that. What that means is for maybe that bike that was there for just 30 minutes, we don't see it, but if that's affecting someone's day, that's not acceptable. But we need to know about it. So there's a couple ways we can know about that. Certainly, you can do our customer service line, and you can let folks know about that. All of our bikes have the ability for VO, but it's hello@voride.com. And you can file something there that'll get through to our team. You can also you can do 311. This is something that, you know, I'm not necessarily going to say as a company I encourage this, but certainly like I want to be like straight up real talk. Like this is how DDOT is monitoring the companies. We have to respond to those in a time under 2 hours in general, generally speaking, much more than that. And if we're not responding to that on balance, that's going to affect our ability to get another permit. And we're going to hear about that from DDOT. So that's something that certainly is going to be a way to really make sure that that's more on DDOT's radar. I would say I'll leave my card here, and while I'm not the best person to call, if you're like, hey Alex, there's a bike, so I mean, if I'm there and home, I'll come get it, especially like if it's right out there. I actually do that when I'm like walking down to Jenks or something, and I see a bike, I'm like, no, that's not right. Let me move that. But generally speaking, I wouldn't say rely on me to do that because I might be somewhere else. I do markets from Charlottesville up to Hartford, but if you have like a more structural, like I am seeing a lot of vehicles at this particular spot or that spot, that's something that I can really get with our ops team and start to strategize on if we've got a particular area that's an issue. So that's a handful of ways to address, and I know it's frustrating, and you know I do appreciate you know the questions, and we definitely want to work with the community as much as we can to really mitigate those issues.
And you said it's hello at VO Ride.
Yeah.
Ride without an S or with an S?
Ride, single ride.
Right, okay. .com. Okay.
Yeah. And there's an 800 number as well, which I apologize, I can't remember offhand right now, but that's definitely on our website.
We can pull it with their comm specialist.
Hey, are there any more questions? There was a question about a car rack. I mean, a bike rack in Trinidad.
They're asking if VO can invest in bike racks to keep the bikes and scooters organized.
Great question. So in general, I'd say that is something that DDOT has been prioritizing more and more, is trying to get more bike racks out there, and definitely encouraging micromobility vehicles to go in those spots. So as a big picture, it's probably not something that VO is able, like en masse, to just invest all through the city, especially when we're looking at a 2-year permit cycle. I know we're trying to work as much as we can with DDOT to do more things like daylight zones, which are a great place. And you see more and more around the city as a potential place for micromobility. We are piloting what we call our VO racks, and these are some things that are sort of akin to like almost a docked model where you can put your vehicle in there, and there's, I think they call it an NFC token, and you tap your phone against that as opposed to ending your ride with a picture. These are still in production. We've got a limited number. I'm trying, fingers crossed, to get a few here for at least a pilot version over the summer. And that's something that long term, again, if we're able to stay within the community and get our permit renewal and keep going forward, I'd love to see in some of our higher traffic areas.
I don't know if this question was asked, Chairwoman, I apologize, but can we get a discount for any of the services?
So
for residents?
we've got a handful of memberships that are discounted. So I talked about our VO Access program is the biggest one. So that's if you're 200% of the poverty level or below, you have basically effectively unlimited free rides for $5 a month. So that's our biggest discount. For folks who are over that level, we have 2 programs right now. We have our VO Plus and our VO Commuter. The VO Plus is basically, it's a limited discount. You pay, I think, $6 a month, and you get no unlock fees for that month. The VO Commuter, you pay a little bit more on a weekly basis, but you effectively get like an hour, I think 40 minutes to an hour of free riding time each day. So for folks who are really using that to get back and forth, it's a good deal. We also have a package where you can buy minutes. So 30 minutes, 60 minutes, I think 140 minutes at a deeply discounted rate with those. Definitely like understand it before you buy it because you have to use them by a certain time. They do expire. But if you're going to use a bunch, it's a good way to get a pretty good discount in your rides and no unlock fees.
Thank you.
Okay, if there's no more questions, we want to thank you, Alex, for your presentation and
Thank you, Commissioner Rhodes, for setting this up. I do appreciate it.
of
I'm gonna
course.
leave my card here, with the folks who are in person, and if y'all wouldn't mind someone, nice to meet you, putting it in the chat, so. Everybody else, please, email me, call me, like I said, if I'm there, I'll come and get the bike, but I would recommend, Hello Bio Rider 311 if you could get something right away.
Thank you. Can you give them the Angie so they can put it in the chat? Thank you. Thanks much.
Yeah, they need to stop dropping them bikes in the sidewalks. That's all I gotta say.
Thank you, commissioners.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, consent calendar, we have the admin consultant timesheet for $405, and this is for April.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, and we have the communications consultant timesheet for $581 for April. Do we have any discussion? Can we move that we will pay Andy and Whitney for their time of work in April? Can I
Yeah,
get
if there's no discussion on that, we can move it as a whole consent calendar.
Thank you.
So is there a second for the motion? Seconded by Commissioner G. Campbell. We'll do roll call, 5D01, aye, 5D02,
Aye.
5D03.
Aye.
I think Nate left, so 5D05,
Aye.
5D06.
Aye.
And 5D09. Okay, the ayes have it, with 6 ayes, consent calendar passes, and that's both timesheets.
Great.
And
Okay.
can I just add a note that I just request that we have those signed? I don't think they're signed yet, so I can go through with
Resend
payment
them?
once they're signed.
Can you check and see if they've been signed? Because I believe I signed them
Okay, cool.
right before the meeting.
Gotcha.
So just double check, and if you don't have it, just resend it, please. Because thank you. Next we have voting actions, resolution advancing equitable metro rail by Commissioner Chovy.
Sure, so I'll talk through this for a minute and answer any questions. I'm introducing this resolution on advancing equitable metro rail access through a new Ward 5 segment. For context, this resolution was sent around by Commissioners Nelson and Kapoor in ANC 5C because they passed such resolution. And I was told also that just yesterday, ANC 5B also passed this resolution. So just so you know, this is not just a 5D effort, but something I got from other folks who know lots about this as well. Basically what I'm talking about here is that WMATA in 2019 and then updated in 2021, its last study on expanding the blue, orange, and silver line. But in those studies, the focus of those studies was about the system's capacity overall. That's not a bad thing, but we've introduced this resolution because we think that if WMATA is interested in doing expansion of the blue, orange, and silver metro rail lines through Ward 5, which it seems like they are, because in those studies, they listed several like possible routes through Ward 5. Then they should examine the pros and cons of each of those options for Ward 5 specifically. Rather than just in the context of Metro's system as a whole. And in particular, we think that because, the last time they did this study was before we knew anything about what's going to happen at the RFK campus, right? Which is obviously going to change the transit necessary to properly serve our neighborhoods in a big way. So what this resolution does is it points out what I just said, right? Hey, WMATA, you did this study, but you didn't, you did this study about Metro through Ward 5, but you didn't adequately address what this would do for Ward 5 itself. And you haven't taken into account everything that's going on in RFK, because this was 5 years ago, and asks them to do a specific new study of any Metro expansion into Ward 5. The resolution asks the mayor and the council to specifically fund that study. It specifically mentions evaluate the impacts on our neighborhoods, evaluate the environmental impacts of their various scenarios. Thanks to the feedback I got from other commissioners on that. And it mentions that, ANC 5C and 5B also passed this and we support them. So I think this is a pretty common sense resolution, right? That whatever Metro Rail chooses to do, that they should be fully informed of the effects of those options. And the landscape here is changing quite a lot because of RFK, because of potentially the flum as well, that this should be fully examined. I also added a clause that whatever they find should be promptly shared with Ward 5 ANCs, which seems like a no-brainer to me. So that's what's in this resolution. It was sent around, but I'm happy to answer any questions about it before I call for a vote. The 5C commissioners did a good job. I mostly just cut some unnecessary language and added a couple clarifying.
Could you change anything given what was shared today regarding the RFK interest to having a metro stop there being pretty much declined by WMATA?
I hadn't updated it since then. Is there an amendment you would suggest?
No, I'm asking, would you personally change it?
Yeah, I thought that was, I was surprised by that information, firstly, because for those who spend time down there, the Stadium Armory Station isn't actually like that close to, if you were trying to use Metro to get to a game. So there's no language referencing that in this resolution. I'd be happy to add a clause mentioning that to show like the urgency of this request. But yeah, I appreciate you sharing that information, Salvador.
Okay, great. If we don't have any more questions, do we need to vote on this resolution?
Yeah, if there's no more discussion, I'll
It's not adding a subway station, right? You're not.
Oh yeah, we don't have the power to do that, and it's not saying do this subway station this way. It's more like saying, hey, in your last exploration of this, you identified 3 different ways the subway could go. That's through Ward 5, but didn't assess what that would do for Ward 5 communities.
I don't think that they should add one. I'll be against that.
Okay.
Because there's too much already going on in that corridor area. And like even how they are making the streets smaller, I truly be against that. We have talked about, I know Ward 7, some of the residents will be for it, but a lot of mines or not for, that's something I'd be against. Because
Like-
that's too much,
like
like
when-
adding well, I know we can't do it, or suggesting that they should add another station, because I believe that the station is really close to the stadium. We don't need that, that's gonna be more taxpayers, dollar money that will have to help pay towards that. So, I don't know.
Like you're saying another station in five D.
Yes, I don't think so.
Cause I think
Yeah.
they suggested the old station for
Need to be
the
upgraded, so
streetcar.
with that, I agree with that, I wouldn't even, I was happy that they rejected building another station. Because we don't need it.
Okay.
I really think that if that's the case, we should get like a shuttle bus. That would help, but not another train station, that's gonna be too much going on in there, 'cause we got already like 5 schools like directly right there. Then you have the stadium there, and then you got the golf course, you got residents, the traffic is gonna be too much in that corridor area. So I was happy that they rejected.
Is this open discussion or what are we?
We're talking about this still, as I understand it. I respect your concern. I would say regarding the resolution that I've placed on the floor, it doesn't take a position of like, hey, this is the map you should draw. It's more just saying like, the proposed maps that you made 5 years ago haven't taken into account recent developments, and you should. If you don't feel comfortable voting for that, like, I will not be offended, but I would emphasize that what this resolution is saying is not necessarily the thing that it sounds to me like you're concerned about.
Yeah, very concerned.
Just sensitive to it.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, we just got a new soccer course, all that over there. To me, this would be, and I live there, so that would be too much going on right there now. Too much. So I was so happy that Mitch rejected that proposal.
Okay.
Okay, so is this discussion, or should we have more discussion, or does anyone else want to add to this discussion?
I don't think I don't think the discussion is sufficiently open per parliamentary procedure. I think we still need to have someone second this before we have discussion for a vote. No, I'm asking, like, I think.
I think you gotta put it on the floor.
Yeah,
You gotta put
so
it.
we just gotta have that.
Okay, I motion that we pass the resolution that's before us. Is there a second for this motion? Seconded by Commissioner McCray. Okay, so the motion's on the floor.
And then discussion.
And, okay,
Now
sorry,
we're
my bad.
No,
My
that's
bad.
fine. No, that's what I was asking.
Okay, thank you.
We're in
Thank you,
discussion.
Commissioner.
Either way, we would have said that.
Fair enough.
Time occupied.
Okay.
My only concern, touching on what I feel, and I just harbor with what Commissioner G. Campbell's addressing. In Washington, D.C., areas have been extremely gentrified when a metro stop enters the neighborhood. And given that the destruction of neighborhoods of color have been at the forefront of that destruction, like, I think those are where concerns are coming from. I don't think this resolution is asking for that to occur, but I can understand when you support something like this, it can lead to steps that eventually might have that occur. So it's just for at least for me, I can say I'm very cautious to support and approve these kind of things, because usually they are baby steps to something bigger. But I will just request to add an amendment or just a change to the resolution where they also do studies and effects on neighborhoods when they are interested in placing this kind of infrastructure on the block. So other than that, I think it was pretty clear what it was, but I do recognize that some folks are sensitive to anything regarding these kind of matters.
Yeah, for sure.
And I just want to add that everybody should be getting involved with the comp plan rewrite.
Sure.
And which is called DC 2050. Please, everybody get involved with the planning of our communities, because if we are not involved with the planning of our communities, they're going to plan it for us, and then we're going to complain after, and it's not going to do any good, because whatever they're going to be planning is for the next 50 years. So I advise everybody to get involved in the comp plan rewrite. One of the issues, or one of the goals, is to build up around subway stations. So if you find out that they're putting up new subway stations, development will come behind it. Because a lot of people that work out of the district uses the subway stations to get back and forth to work and in and out of the district. So that's just a word to the wise. Please get involved with DC 2050, the comp plan rewrite. The draft is coming out in September. When it come out, please have a look at it, and you will get a chance to add, make suggestions or follow up with the Office of Planning. It's not going to do us any good by complaining or talking about an issue after the fact. When they set that standard and goal for the comp plan, it's going to be set till 2050.
Yeah, thank you for that reminder. Definitely folks should participate in DC 2050 if they can. I agree.
If I could say something, definitely in support of this resolution because I think it needs to be studied. I do hear the sentiments. I think 17th Street is going to be an interesting case study in all of this with now that there's bike lanes and roads without some type of other transit option, we are going to have an influx of traffic on game days. Like I know it's going to happen. It's bound to happen. And I think if we could, I don't know if you want to add something just to hold the residents maybe, because residents are going to be the ones that are most impacted, whether it's environmentally, traffic wise, to see what residents want. Because I know we speak for our commissions, but I know a lot of folks in 5D06, they're kind of on the side of having a metro station. So I would kind of want to see the data behind that. So if there's some way we can get, I don't know if DDOT would do that per se.
I'm not sure what DDOT's practices.
Per se, I don't think they would go.
Having another station, but people gotta realize, be mindful that taxpayers have to pay for that. Then
Yeah.
buses and trains starts to go up. And again, with the game coming, I just think that it'd be more better to have shuttle buses. It'd probably be a little bit more price efficient,
I think that's a direction that WMATA's going in regarding the Armory station, because they did determine
That was the news release that.
it did determine that it would be $1 billion to add just one more station based on the needs of this area.
But even when you
with RFK
shuttle
coming
buses,
in.
kind of like the game day, they should provide, even the commander's team, since they want to be here so bad, they should provide shuttle buses and secretaries for paying.
Listen.
Yeah, no. And I think if they could study all of those things, just so that we have the data to support, like, they need to show the data to support whatever decision is made, right? They need to show it.
Yeah.
Like, regardless, they need to show and tell.
Commissioner Chubby, would you be interested in amending the resolution to include those pieces?
Ask the same thing.
Direct request to study these changes and effects.
Yeah, let me make sure I
Shuttle
understand what the
buses and
requested
all that.
amendments are though, because we said like several different things. What changes are folks requesting? We're requesting, like, sorry, yes, I'm open to the amendment. I'm trying to clarify what it is.
Commissioner Craig, you were adding
So-
regarding studies.
Like, just a study of how residents that live here feel about that.
Okay.
So like just with whatever option is chosen, just studying what residents would want to see.
Okay.
And they could do that a variety of ways by collecting data different ways, but if there could be some data to collect whatever path forward they choose, it would be helpful just so that we know how people feel about it, truthfully.
Okay.
And actually, we can do our own surveys in our own communities and survey our neighbors, because if we wait on DDOT, I don't know, it might be a bias type situation. I mean, it might be
Yeah,
biased if we do it too, but it depends on whether you for or against
sure.
this metro.
Yeah, I think a clause can be added to the resolution requesting that, you know, part of this study involves, I don't know how I would put it, feedback or survey from residents of Ward 5 who would be served by this.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay,
yeah.
that can be added.
And I almost feel like they could add that to our RFK site, but that would get larger than kind of a more concentrated population of answers,
Yeah.
since it would be open to everyone, but since it would be running directly through our community, kind of getting to kind of Commissioner Rhodes' point, the environmental impact along with the other items in there.
And then the shuttle bus that was suggested, can we add that too as an option? Because people are always looking for solutions. That can be an option too, and the commanders can pay for it.
Well, I don't think we have great weight with the commanders. We do have great weight with district agencies, right? So I don't know that I can include a clause telling the commanders to pay for a shuttle bus.
I tell them.
We might get more pull with the commanders.
Hey, if someone knows someone at the commander,
Hey. Just wait.
I'm gonna stop talking.
Just wait. Wait on it.
Okay, so the requested amendments are that the study in question solicits feedback from residents served. For the bus thing, again, I'm open to that. I'm thinking of how that fits, given that this is kind of like, I guess it's pointed at WMATA, which also runs the buses. So there can be a clause added that a Ward 5 Metro Rail study should consider busing alternatives, if that's the request. Yeah. Were there any other?
I think that was 3 minutes for discussion.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Well,
You're
excited.
good.
I want to be
You're
sensitive
good.
to y'all's time.
You're good. So the motion's on the floor, second by Commissioner Gray. And then roll call.
Yeah, so I'm happy to make those two amendments, and with that, the motion, I'll do roll call.
Thank you.
5D01, that's me, I vote aye. 5D02.
Aye with the amendments.
Okay, yeah. 5D03.
Aye.
Okay. 5D05.
Aye.
5D06.
Aye.
And 5D09. You can vote yes, no, or abstain.
It's something they call it, it's I may what?
Abstain.
Abstain. You can yes, no, or abstain.
Abstain.
Abstain, okay.
Thank you.
So we got 5 aye, 1 abstain, and no nays, so the motion does carry.
Okay, and we have, are we done with the resolution? We have the Trash and Beautification Resident Co-Chair, Commissioner Roblin.
Yes, I am so happy to say that Andy D'Antonio accepted being our co-chair, our resident co-chair.
Great.
Yeah.
Did you want me to talk now or later?
Definitely not later. Can you talk now? Can you go ahead and talk now? And you have a couple minutes.
Yeah, just for a minute. Like Andy is like so he's really great. He's like so dedicated.
Okay.
He has come to every single tree walk that we've ever had. He comes to almost every meeting. He's just like super amazing, and it's just like totally amazing to have him as our resident co-chair.
Wonderful. So
Did you want to say some words?
I didn't prepare anything, but I'm happy to give my time back to the chairs.
Thank you.
Is
Thanks
that,
for
Andy?
Yeah, here in the room.
Okay, you're free to speak if you like.
Just excited to do my part to support the community, making it greener, a little more beautiful, and hopefully a lot more trash cans. And you know, handling some of the trash issues, but excited to be part of the work a little more efficiently.
Sure, and we're excited to have you. Thank you so much for your dedication to beautifying 5D.
Yes.
Next, we have a budget adjustment from Commissioner McCray about some office supplies.
But
Do you
did we
feel
need to
confident?
did we need to vote on Andy?
Yes, we still gotta do that vote,
Oh,
Chairwoman.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Is
You
there
wanna make the motion, Commissioner Roblin?
Yeah.
Yes, I move that Andy D'Antonio become our new resident co-chair of the Trash and Beautification Committee.
Fabulous. Do I hear a second for that
Second.
motion? That seconded by Commissioner Salvador. Roll call 5D01. Aye. 5D02.
Aye.
5D03.
Aye.
5D05.
Aye.
5D06.
100% aye.
5D09. Sounds like the ayes have it.
Great. Now we can go
Congrats.
to.
Congratulations.
Yay, Andy!
Can Andy come into the screen because I know he's there with you all, but we can't see Andy.
Oh, he walked away, Chairwoman. Oh,
Yeah, no, she wants to see you.
Yeah.
just say thing.
Where am I looking?
Over here.
Down
Oh.
there. Yeah.
Hello.
Hey. Thank you.
Well, again, just excited to help and play my part in this, so thank you all.
You're welcome.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now we can do the budget adjustment with Commissioner McCray.
I'm not aware of the budget adjustment that is
For office
requested, so
supplies.
We
Okay.
have to make the budget adjustment to reflect the office supplies.
So this was discussed at the, I believe at the COW or the prior meeting regarding the next item. So perhaps it needs to go after the next item on the agenda,
Okay.
which was the proposal for print materials, just to ensure that we are not exceeding the current office supply budget.
Is that correct? Commissioner Craig, because you requested it to be before.
it needs to be before, but I also don't know what's being requested, so I don't.
Well, it's to adjust the budget. So to touch.
How much is being requested, I guess, is the major question.
Great. So if the proposal itself for the print material for the history project, that's linked on the agenda as the next item. That totals to $1,900, $1960, to include also a literature stand to put here in the community room for all the material that we have in the office, including the print material from the research project. I have noted from the items that are outstanding that we need to purchase, that will total around $2,200, which would include 3 tablecloths, resource tent, 3 tablecloths, a resource tent, items for this owl to extend the mics into the audience, as well as a case. And there's a couple other things on there. I wrote it down, but I left a piece of paper at home. Either way, I remember the number specifically was 2,200. So knowing that we need 1,900 to complete this project in terms of the print materials and potentially 2,200 in the future, what do you recommend us to adjust the budget to be able to get these purchases?
And all of them are office supplies?
Yes. Because I know some of the materials we can get reimbursed by the ANC. So I did include certain items because we also still have, I believe, numbers in that actual budget line. But knowing that 1,900 and 2,200 is what we might be spending in the future, what do you recommend us to adjust this to?
Probably just increase it by like 3,000 to give some wiggle room. I guess for the public's notice, we would just be increasing the budget. It does not necessarily mean we have outspent the amount of money in our account. It just means we would increase a budget line item that allows us to spend. We could probably increase it by 3,000 just to give some wiggle room for the rest of the year. And also for the public's notice, we're in Q3 of FY26. So there's 4 quarters in one fiscal year. So it is now May. So April, May, and June make up Q3. And we'll be going into Q4 where there's a next budgetary cycle. Within that, basically we have the wiggle room to do it. So we could just increase that budget line item by 3,000 for the office supplies, if everything does fall within that category.
So I know some of the items can get reimbursed, so I do agree that 3,000 makes sense. Being that we have already numbers in there. And I'm not including certain items because they're just smaller purchases like business cards, I think our chairwoman asked for. But outside of that, those were the major purchases that I foresee. That also included that wagon. There was something called a gorilla wagon. Jenks is out of the wagon, but it can haul pretty well as a compactable, retractable. It folds together. But yeah, I think that number makes sense. 3,000.
So we will have to vote on the budget adjustment before we go into the actual proposal. So I move that we add $3,000 to the office supply budget for our FY 2026 budget. That will leave us with, if we were to spend everything, which we are not close to doing that, with 41,000 in our account. We adjust the budget line item for office supply and we increase it to, it is currently at 10,000. We will increase the office supply budget by 3,000. So it'll be a total of 13,000 in that bucket. And that would leave us with a remaining ending balance for the year, in the event all the funds were spent, of $6,477.12. Can I get a second?
Second.
All right. If there's no questions, we could just move to a vote.
Yeah, if there's no questions, I'll do roll call. So 5DO1, I vote aye. 5DO2,
Aye.
5DO3,
Aye.
5DO5,
Aye.
5DO6,
Aye.
and 5DO9.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Great. So with that, are we still doing a proposal for the history project print purchase? Are we still?
Yeah, that aligns now that we
that?
can move
Okay.
forward with the vote, since the numbers
Okay.
have changed.
Okay.
Cool, so I'll go into that. So the proposal there includes a breakdown of the purchases for the print material for this project. Sorry, just lost where. Here it is. It is gonna be 1124 by 36 poster boards. Those are gonna be mobile throughout the presentations that Mr. Montague will be doing. And then eventually we'll mount them here in the community room. We can collectively agree, but I think seeing it in the hallway will be a great entrance for folks coming into the space. That also includes retractable banners that we have for these presentations based on the 5 neighborhoods that Mr. Montague did research on. Those will also be here in the community room for display. I mentioned the second, well, technically the most expensive item on this is the meta literature information stand. Commissioners, we all know that the office space has a lot of information that we have printed out. I think it would be great just to have it readily available for folks that come into the space. So having this stand towards the entrance or what have you would be a great place to have all this information for folks. The rest is just items just for the actual presentation or actually mounting information into the space. Brochure paper, we decided that we'll do printing at the office of ANC, but we'll get high quality paper for the brochures. We're having leaflet brochure holders. I have 2 here just to have here in the space or just for mobile purposes when we are doing engagement outside. I did get 6 wall-mounted ones where we can mount right next to the poster boards where we can include those brochures for people to walk away with for each neighborhood and display easels because we don't have any easels. So that's pretty much pretty much what this breakdown is. Totals to 19,916. But my understanding when using the website Build a Sign, you do get a discount when you're ordering multiple items in the same order. So the cost will be lower than that. But I wanted to get this figure and breakdown so commissioners have a clear understanding of what this is and what will be purchased.
Will any of this be ready for the resource fair where it can be displayed?
I don't know if we can get it back that quickly based on the shipping. Since we might be able to get a discount on the Build a Sign items, we can probably request quicker shipping. But that is a great question. So that'll be definitely something you know, working with the commissioners on the resource fair if they want that, we can see if we can get that available.
So do you need to put a motion on the floor or?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and place that motion. And so I move that we approve this proposal for purchase of printing and office supplies in regards to the history project for ANC 5D. Can I get a second?
Second.
Can we move to discussion?
Yeah, that's what.
Commissioner Chovy, can you
Second.
Yeah, so it's moved by Commissioner Cesar de Guzman, seconded by Commissioner G. Campbell. I'm happy to do roll call, but there was a request for discussion from Commissioner McCray.
3-minute discussion?
I guess there's 11 poster boards. What are the 11 poster boards? Because
if you open the link, it shows you. Yeah, if you open the link in the proposal, it shows you everything that is trying to be purchased or ordered.
Yeah.
So with these being the poster boards, just wondering how the easels work with that. Like, I'll defer to whatever the commission wants to do.
Do y'all have a picture of the easels?
Yeah, they're linked in there as well. What do you mean by those easels? You saying we need more easels?
No, I'm just trying to understand. Like, I see them. I understand I'm just trying to picture this on a poster board displayed to the community. What is kind of linked here? That
If there's feedback on the actual material, I would defer that feedback to the historian. If there's reservations, we can wait for the poster boards or any other material, but I would defer it back to Mr. Montague.
I guess this first picture is a map that's not clear.
The Word document is not going to be the best version of each item. That map is actually the highest resolution item in that document and I couldn't get it full because it was just so much detail in it. But our comm specialist did recognize the first map that we received was for quality in terms of the resolution. So we definitely have to make sure that we're getting high quality JPEGs or PDF files to be able to display this on poster board, because I wouldn't want to purchase anything that will come out blurry or not readable. But in terms of the material, if there's any comment or feedback, I would definitely defer that to Mr. Montague so we can get that corrected or edited as necessary before purchase.
All right. I guess just from my perspective, I see these being brochures, but as poster boards, I'm a little bit at a loss for that. But for it to be one of the secondary high cost on here, I'm not sure that these are poster boards. I see them being brochures, but not necessarily poster boards. But I'll defer to whatever the commission wants to do. That was my only feedback.
Okay, and the size of the poster boards are 23 by 11?
24 by 36.
Oh, 24 by 36.
Mm-hmm.
But it'd be 11.
11 of them.
24 by 36. Okay. And approximately how big would that be? We
2
would need
feet by 3
easels,
feet.
right?
Sorry?
I think 2 feet by 3 feet.
Yeah,
12
2 by
times
3.
3.
So we
Yeah.
would need the tall easels that are like maybe 4.5 feet tall, 5 feet tall.
These are 58
Hold
inches. So what would that be?
Mhm.
That's almost, that's 5. What is that?
How
5
big?
It's
are
almost
easels?
that big, yeah.
58 inches.
Okay.
It's 4'10".
All right.
But the idea is to put these posters on these easels in the entryway to this space.
Oh, the easels are for when we're holding presentations.
Oh, okay.
Eventually, the idea would be to mount them. But given the reservations that Commissioner McCray has, I will request our historian just to review them one more time before we turn them into poster boards, because they are the brochures. They are the brochures. That's not, there's no denial there. It's just that's the material that he created, and we want to blow it up for larger presentation. And instead of tossing them afterwards, in the meantime, they will make great work to display in the hallway. But I understand what you're saying. Yeah. But we have to direct it to him. But my purpose for this proposal, commissioners, is just to get these numbers approved and these figures situated, and we can move forward once we have that final product.
Right, your proposal is these purchase items, the design is a separate, yeah.
But we can request a design revamp for the poster boards unless there was something else.
No, that was it.
Okay. And our comm specialist did create some higher quality, I would say respectfully, some higher quality used material with the research that Mr. Montague provided. So if they want to collaborate, it's great. But given that this is Mr. Montague's intellectual property, there's only so much wiggle room there. But either way, I think the interest is to have the best product before we purchase and spend.
Are there any further questions or concerns? If not, I'll do a roll call since motion was already moved and seconded.
Okay.
Okay. 5D01, I vote aye. 5D02,
Aye.
5D03,
Aye.
5D05,
Aye.
5D06,
Abstain.
5D09.
Aye.
Okay. That's 5 ayes, 1 abstention. Motion does carry.
Great, thank you.
Okay.
There's only one more.
Next time, can we talk about how we're gonna mount the posters on the walls? And will they stay mounted? Like what kind of materials? Because that'll have to be purchased as well, or
Yeah,
someone
it's
will
all
have to mount them.
That's fine.
Talk about in the crowd.
Yeah.
Huh?
I think we'll be able to see that vision once we have them physically.
Okay.
And we
The
could
last
talk about it.
item on here is just the historian presentation invoice for $300. Mr. Montague sent us this, I believe, yesterday, so it was a bit late. As Commissioner McCray noted, the scope of the project did include community meetings. And even though the COW is a public meeting and space for community to engage, this community meeting was not efficiently publicized to the public and marketed to the public. I did make a request, was it yesterday? I think, yes, yesterday, for our comm specialist to create flyers for the 3 presentations in Langston, Ivy City, and Trinidad. We have to move the date around for the Trinidad presentation because Mr. Montague is no longer available. He's doing the fellowship with the community engagement, MPD's community engagement program. So we'll have to move that. But Commissioner G. Campbell has stated that spaces at the schools in her S&D are available as necessary if needed. We just need to book the space properly. And Commissioner Rhodes did give me information on how to contact Trinity Baptist Church, which has been used by numerous community meetings in Ivy City. So that flyers in the works. But I think I would love to hear your word for how to make the proper amendment for that on the scope of work.
I just think from the standpoint of just clarifying what constitute a public meeting and potentially adding in, I know we're gonna pay him after each schedule, but just what constitutes a public meeting? Is it 7 days duly noticed? Is it gonna be so many people need to be in the room? Like, I know we can't control how many people in the room, so maybe it's 7 days duly noticed.
Why?
Secretary.
My suggestion, I'm not a lawyer, but my suggestion is just say a meeting that complies with the Sunshine Act, which is the reason we have to do the 7 days notice. Like, when you say duly noticed public meeting, I think of the Sunshine Act requirements, which is the reason we do that. So,
and we can add also to that, we can add a request for attendee feedback from each presentation. So we can ensure input was provided also on the project.
That sounds good.
So I think I'll make 2 motions then, or I'll make a motion that we amend the scope of work for the historian to ensure that each of the remaining 3 presentations is duly noticed 7 days in advance of its date, and also includes opportunity to report on community feedback on the said presentation. Can I get a second on this motion?
Yeah.
Second by, sorry.
no, yeah, second by Commissioner G. Campbell. So the motion is to amend the scope of work for the historians project. To clarify that all the presentations will be at a meetings noticed 7 days in advance. Okay.
And I guess, can we just add in who is gonna create that amendment, route it for signature and all of that? I'm assuming you and Commissioner Rhodes will coordinate with Jeremiah on that?
I'm in charge of our staff, so yeah.
Okay.
So
that the motion to amend the historian's scope of work has been made and seconded. I'm gonna do roll call unless somebody objects. What the heck?
What?
Sorry, the AC turned on in here really loud, but I'm still gonna do it.
Go
5D01,
for it.
I vote aye. 5D02,
Aye.
5D03,
Aye.
5D05,
Aye.
5D06,
Aye.
and 5D09. Aye. Okay, so the motion carries.
I can't hear that. I can't hear it on my end.
You
You can't
should,
hear our voices?
No, I
We
can't
can.
hear the air
Oh,
conditioner.
that's good.
Oh,
That's a
that's
good
yeah,
thing.
you should be glad, Commissioner Rhodes.
You said you were
It's,
gonna do two motions.
So
Is there
the
another?
second motion is just to approve, I move that we approve Jeremiah Montague's invoice for first
Sure.
presentation provided to the commission and public. Can I get a second on that? Thank you.
Moved and seconded. Motion to approve the invoice so we can pay our historian. Any concerns before roll call? Hearing none. 5D01, aye. 5D02,
Aye.
5D03,
Aye.
5D05,
Aye.
5D06.
Aye.
And 5D09. Great, motion carries 6 ayes.
There was one thing left off the agenda. I didn't update the agenda as I made the update at the start. It's just to vote for ANC 5D to sponsor the community resource fair.
Oh, right.
I can make this very quick.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Can you
Community
go ahead
Resource
and make it
Fair.
quick?
Community Resource Fair, Saturday, June the 6th at Starbucks Plaza. Been partnering with Commissioner G. Campbell, Commissioner Anna Roblin, on this, and we have a series of folks coming from DPW to the Department of Public Works to MedStar to DC Board of Elections and a series of other people. Hopefully we'll get Brett Coyne to come out as well. That was just here. So hopefully connecting community to resources, bringing folks to our side, letting them see the disinvestment that we are currently seeing and experiencing. So just want to put ANC 5D's logo on it. So
And
that's it.
Vio, he can bring some bikes out there and do some demonstrations.
Oh, we could.
Yep.
I didn't know they could do that. Cool. Yeah. All right. Say less. We'll get Vio out there too.
I forgot to ask, but we had already talked about it. I'm like, you got the whole parking lot.
Yeah.
Get some
Yeah,
people
no,
on
we're
some
gonna have a
bikes.
party.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so the motion is to sponsor this. My understanding is that we had previously approved a direct expenditure, but now we're moving to sponsor so we can logo. That's
No, so no direct expenditures.
Oh, okay.
Don't blame
Or
you.
we're not spending our
We're not
money.
spending
Yeah.
any money on it. Yeah.
We're like coordinating all these other entities.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Is there a second for Commissioner McCrae's motion? Seconded by Commissioner D. Campbell. Any concerns before I do roll call?
I don't have a concern, I just have a comment.
Yeah.
For me, it's not about adding the logo, it's just by declaring that it's an ANC 5D recognized event. You mentioned the logo a few times, but it was never about the logo, it was just recognizing it as a 5D event.
Like we are doing this.
Because you didn't, there's no mention of Commissioner McCollum in the planning. So to me, it's a liability concern when we're doing something in someone else's single member district. So being that it's a 5D recognized event, I think the actions are permissible and there's no liability concerns. So I just wanted to just make that clear. That's where that was coming from.
That's fair.
Exactly. No, just a point of clarification. I spoke to Commissioner McCullum about it. He's on all of the email threads. Yeah, just waiting on a reply back.
Okay.
But you have a way to speak with Commissioner McCollum, right?
Yeah. I got his
Okay.
number. I got his number. I'll
Okay.
reach out. I'll reach out. Yeah.
Right, it
I'm
sounds like
making
he's
it
been
clear.
lived in, but this is a 5D rather than a 5D07 shindig, right?
Yeah,
Because we got
yeah.
3 other commissioners.
Mhm.
Yeah, cool. Any other comment before I do roll call?
Go for it.
Cool. 5D01, I vote aye. 5D02,
Aye.
5D03,
Aye.
5D05,
Aye.
5D06,
Aye.
5D09. Awesome, motion carries.
Told you I would keep it short.
Thank you, Commissioner. Much
Thank you.
appreciated.
Do we have any feedback or questions from the community that has stuck around with us all night? Do we have any questions or feedback or comments from our community? Do we see anything?
Nursing.
I don't see anything in the chat. Anything in Q&A? I don't think so. Well, if no questions or comments or feedback from our community, then it's 9:53 and let's adjourn this 5D public meeting. Can I get a second?
Oh, right. I second.
Everybody can second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Right.
Thanks,
Thanks,
everyone.
everybody.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.